Rashad with my boy Rob. John Hunt on my left, man.
No.
Welcome back. 2 o'clock. We wanna say this is going to be our official time. So those of you that like to watch us on the regular, like to catch us on live, here you have it. 2 o'clock Saturdays 2 p.m. for the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
That's what time we're gonna be coming on. Again, if you haven't already, subscribe on YouTube, 3 The Hard Way Podcast. If you haven't followed the page on Instagram, 3THW_. Very simple. Go check those out. We do a lot of posting on those pages. The show gets edited for YouTube. You guys can check it out there. So a little bit more video, a little bit more footage of what we're talking about, make it a little bit more lively.
A little bit better video.
Camera
quality.
Can't complain. I mean, we back in the spot. Casa.
Rooted to the tutor.
Back where it started. But this week we discussed it last week. We went over the last 20 championship teams. We gave them their respects. Teams that won it all. But the conversation that we're having today is about teams that the top teams that won it all in the last 20 years. So we talk about the elites. So we made a bracket based on the votes. If you voted, thank you. We appreciate you guys voting. If you voted, we took your votes, we tallied them up, and we came up with a bracket of the top 8. Now, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Look, this is our first time truly seeing the bracket. We just got some poll votes that just came in less than 10 minutes ago. Last minute votes. So the bracket was literally just created, and I wanted it to be that way to add the surprise factor. We're pretty caught up on all of those teams. If you aren't, pause now. Go watch the other show. You can't pause this live. When you're done with this, go watch the last show. Go watch the last show. You can see what we were talking about when it comes to those teams. If you don't have some information on some of those teams in the years you may have, forgot about. But we got 8 teams. 2000. So the 8 teams that made this list. This is not the only teams that were voted for, but the top 8 teams for votes that we got are the 2000 Lakers.
Started a 3-peat.
2004 Pistons. Bad Boys
in that
2
in that dynasty.
In that 3-peat dynasty. The 2001 Lakers. 14-1 in the playoffs.
16-1.
16-1 in the playoffs. The 2008 Celtics.
Paul, Kevin, Ray, and Rondo.
The 2017 Warriors.
It's KD and them boys. That was the first championship.
First with KD.
First championship with KD.
Sorry.
KD's first championship.
Yes.
You should have seen how I looked at you.
It was KD's first championship. they was champion before, bro.
Respect on their name.
2013 Heat.
What was that?
That's the second.
Yeah,
That was the second one. That was Ray in the corner. Ray, Battier.
And the 2012 Heat as well.
2012 Heat made the list. Okay, so
their
that's
first
same
championship
team
together.
Minus.
That's Mike Miller without the shoe.
Yep.
And bringing up the rear at the number 8 spot, we have the 2010 Lakers.
2010 Lakers. That's Powell, Kobe, Elo, Ron, Bynum, D-Fish, and Phil.
Ron.
Or sorry, Meta.
Okay. Got it. Man, you meet somebody in person, now you call him Ron?
I'm just, when he was on our team, was he Ron?
That's Ron.
When we
played for y'all, he was Meta World.
He always, man. Listen, just quick shout out there. One
He's
time,
elbow James Harden in the head.
Way back in the day, 3 The Hard Way was yay high with the Doherty Park. I think it was you that spotted him out, Ty.
No, it wasn't me, but I definitely noticed who it was.
Yeah, but one of our family members, I think it might have been Jordan or somebody, but they was like, yo, that's Ron Artest. Like, what? Oh my God. And literally, like, everyone was chilling, and we were the first people who noticed him, and then after we got our little autographs, little handshakes, high fives, then the crowd started coming.
Yeah, so we were like VIP in a sense.
Yeah, like we kind of was just like, yo, Ron. So Ron, you always Ron in my book, right? That was just that little.
That was really a sad day for me, because it was the day when I realized, like, I'm probably not going to be a professional basketball player.
That's how tall he was?
Not how tall he was.
He was huge.
How stocky he was. I'm like, bro,
yeah.
this is a small forward. This is a small forward.
Yeah, man.
This is going to switch off to me?
He was huge. Like, he was literally towering over everyone and, like, big and bulky. So, shout out to Ron. If you watching this, man, just shout us out, man. Remember you that day.
In your 2010 Lakers, your game sealing
Kobe passing the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Artest winning game for the Lakers in Game 7. I would be remiss to say that I am not happy with this list. My top 2 teams did not make it. The 2 teams and my favorite team did not make it. So 2006, Miami Heat did not make it, which was my favorite team.
That's a heck of a team, though.
Yeah,
2011 Mavericks, who I thought the adversity that they faced going up against, LeBron and D Wade and Chris Bosh, while everybody else in the league was complaining of how dominant they were going to be and how unfair it was going to be. Their first year, they took them out. They beat them in 6, so they got 4 games in a row against Miami. I thought that was big for Dirk and a non-dynasty type team to grab their chip.
Special run, man. That's a magical run.
Team of destiny.
Maybe we should do a bracket about magical runs. Who had the most magical runs in sports?
In sports.
Sports in general.
Sports in the last 20 years, we can't do all
Nah.
Got a Miracle on Ice.
Yeah.
Tiger at like 19 at the Masters.
Giants.
I was thinking Giants.
Got the amazing.
Boston Red Sox from down 3-0.
That's
Only
that's
time
one
it's
right
been
there
done.
for you. That's the
Every time it's been done in sports, if I'm not mistaken. I believe that
I
was
would
one
put
time down
the
3-0.
Cavs. And
And that was the other team that I was very disappointed didn't make the list. Cavs down 3-1 to the best team in NBA history, the best
Regular
wins
season.
and losses, best regular season team in NBA history, down 3-1, and for them to have to win that game on a last shot was pretty monumental to me. I thought it was pretty amazing, but I digress. They did not make the list.
Before we go into, I gotta say something. I am officially a New York Liberty fan. Sabrina Ionescu got drafted #1 by the Liberty last night, and it's a party in Brooklyn. I'm looking forward to see her go drop triple doubles and lead the New York Liberty back to prominence.
Another note: New York Liberty had 4 first-round draft picks.
4.
The Knicks should take notice of that.
I'm glad. See, that's the Liberty. I'm proud of y'all, man. Y'all did a good job of making the right decision with your draft choice. I wouldn't have trusted the Knicks with that draft choice.
Yeah, we would have traded for somebody like
Bradley Beal.
no.
Y'all
somebody
traded
even
#1
better.
pick. Who?
Probably would have got somebody like Lance Stevens.
Yeah, but shout out to them. Shout out to Sabrina, man. Stop.
Lance
Happy
make
to
him
see you.
dance. Don't get it twisted, bro. I'm a fan, but if you can have Lance
Stand up.
or I can have Kevin Durant, I'm taking Kevin Durant.
And in the meantime, I'm taking Sabrina. Let's go.
Alright, so we're gonna jump right into it. We spoke about it last week, so you know what the teams are. You know a little bit about the teams. Our first round matchup, our 1-8 match. I'm not even gonna give 1-8 seeds because at the end of the day,
They're all 1 seed.
these are all 1 seeds. They all held the Larry O'B at one point. So,
Shout out to Kawhi.
so
Hey, you gotta get a Kansas shout out now.
no, you don't.
All right,
Here we go.
The Lakers in 2010 were a good team.
They're a great team.
They were a good team. They were a great team.
Great team.
But there's something to say when you got 2 of the greatest players on your team at the same time. The 1999-2000 Lakers had both Kobe and Shaq. That year, Shaq was averaging around 28, 29 points a game. Kobe was averaging 21 points a game. The second leading scorer behind them was Glenn Rice. Perennial All-Star, 20 points per game in his prime.
Buckets in his sleep.
Give you buckets
do.
in his sleep. Then you got the versatility of a point guard / 2 guard and Ron Harper, who just came up with championship run.
36 years old.
At 36, but he can guard. You still got AC Green, who's a good defender, right? And then you have the guys who were starting before, like Glenn Rice and Robert Horry and Rick Fox, and now they're coming off the bench and taking a back seat. And then you still got Mr. Clutch. You got another clutch guy, Derek Fisher, in his rookie year, and Brian Shaw. This Lakers team, for me, is the most dominant team. I think that they would beat the Lakers, the other Lakers team, because Kobe in 2010 versus Kobe in 2000. Kobe was more cerebral. The other Kobe was more athletic.
Kobe was athletic in 2010.
Not
He was still dumping your bean top.
Crazy eight Kobe. He wasn't
He-
flying like that.
He didn't need to.
Exactly.
That Crazy 8 Kobe had a turnaround fadeaway like that.
Yeah, but he had clutch moments.
He wasn't as clutch as 24.
He wasn't, so they cancel out. But then you got Shaq.
I ain't saying they cancel
You
out.
got Shaq and Pau Gasol.
As an objective Laker fan, I'm taking Finals MVP Kobe over 21 points a game Kobe. So I'm not giving you that. Shaq
Okay.
over everyone, yes.
Shaq over everyone, right? So then you talk about the style of play too. I think dump the ball down to Shaq, and with a whole bunch of 3-point shooters, and then you got Kobe Bryant. Like when I was looking at that Lakers team, they had stretch fours. Rick Fox was playing the 3 and the 4. Robert Ory was playing the 3 and the 4. So it's either you double down on Shaq, or you going to take these threes that I'm about to hit all in your mouth. And Robert Ory was pow. You know what I'm saying?
Plays in NBA history.
So the style of play, I think that Shaq will be just too much for you guys, and Kobe and the other cast of players. When you have on that 2010 Lakers team, you still got the same coaching, so coaching is the same. You got Phil Jackson and Phil Jackson. It's the same.
But you got Phil Jackson that has 3 more championships as opposed to Phil Jackson trying to capture his first with the Lakers. So coaching is a little bit edged to the experience Phil Jackson as well.
I don't think so, because Phil Jackson just came up with 6 championships with the Chicago Bulls. When we talk about championships, what are you saying?
But okay, John.
And
He had
and that
six.
season,
He had six.
and that season, he had his best season as a Laker in the regular season with 67 wins. Was your team 67?
Let me ask you a question.
67 wins, team
Let me ask you a
Lakers?
question. Let me ask you a question. First off,
And
no,
it was
they
more-
were the 67-win team Lakers. Here's my question. You said Phil Jackson came off having 6. The year in 2010 he came off having 10. So I hear you,
Mm-hmm.
but then I look at how he developed the talent around him. Look what Andrew Bynum did without Phil Jackson. Look what Lamar Odom did without Phil Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Shannon Brown, Jordan Farmar, Sasha Vujacic, all these type of players who thrive under Phil Jackson. So I'm giving the coaching edge to Phil Jackson of the 2010 Lakers.
Nah, I'm giving the coaching edge to the Phil Jackson of the 2000 Lakers, because up to that point, he didn't lose an NBA's final. He just came up with 2 defeats with the Lakers. One to the Celtics, and the other one to the Pistons.
This is back to back. So he just came up with another NBA championship too. So
Yeah.
go ahead.
Wait, look,
Go ahead.
I feel like when it comes to I'm gonna let y'all get back into your argument. Y'all seem to be having a prominent one here. When it comes to the coaching situation, if I had to pick one as a tiebreaker, I would take the 2010 Lakers simply because Phil Jackson had left, but Kobe and Phil had rifted.
Mm-hmm.
In 2000, it was 2000. They had just got Shaq a year ago. They just got Shaq from Orlando. Shaq was
Nah, they got
No,
Shaq.
Shaq was in 97.
Like 97, yeah.
so they ran out of time, y'all. You know,
But it was an argument.
I would just say that I like the coaching dynamic with Phil Jackson. The second time around, having to almost lose Kobe hadn't lost yet in 2008. Now you're talking about a real, I'm the star, I'm the guy, and he was losing. He was making the playoffs and losing to Phoenix. They lost to Phoenix 2 years in a row. After being up 3-1 in one of those series,
Yeah, both of them, honestly, I feel
Lakers were
like.
up 3-1 in both series.
Against Phoenix, yeah.
Against Phoenix, and they lost. So Phil Jackson had more coaching to do. Again, when you look at like the guys that you just named, Glenn Rice and
Walking buckets.
off the bench, you got Robert Ory and Derek Fisher, who ended up being the starters to the championship
But
team.
doesn't that
next
have to
year.
be coaching too? Because you have to coach ego.
It's
So
great coaching. You say you have to coach ego, but every star doesn't mean that they have an ego.
But look
Some
at
stars just want to win.
Glenn Rice definitely had an ego.
what I'm saying
But-
is,
but-
what I'm saying,
Right.
Okay, you're coaching talent that may have ego problems. We're coaching no ego problems with not that much talent.
But
When
you
you talk
also have
about
to
Jordan
remember-
Farmar playing significant minutes, Sasha Vujacic playing significant minutes, Luke Walton playing significant minutes.
Look
This
at what
is
these
Derek
players-
Fisher 10 years later.
Look at what these players
playing significant
did
minutes.
outside of the Lakers. Robert Ory won a championship and had clutch moment with the Spurs. Derek Fisher was a huge piece of the Utah runs, right? Glenn Rice, we were in All-Star before then. Rick Fox is a champion, we already know that. But like,
Andrew Bynum went to Philly and later.
bummed it up.
Lamar
My arm never was the same after he left LA.
Shannon Brown. That's another one you could say that wasn't that good. He had extreme athleticism, but he wasn't that good. I like Shannon Brown personally.
I loved him, man, especially at backing up Kobe, but outside of LA, what did he do?
That's my point when it comes to. I think this was a harder team to win with, and then I also give you this. I think the Boston team that they beat was way better than the Indiana team that the 2000 Lakers beat. The Indiana team that the 2000 Lakers beat almost didn't make it out the first round. It was for some missed free throws by, I believe it was Doug Christie. I'm not sure. I looked it up. I think it was Doug Christie and Travis Best with a big shot to end the game. They would have made it out of the first round, which was five game series back then. This team right here was going against an already championship Boston team. They had already faced Boston before.
Won a championship and
Boston
lost
had
it.
beat them already.
Yeah, to conquer that.
There's more, and you know me, I love storyline. So there's more storyline here. Kobe passing the ball and Metta World Peace hitting the game-winning shot, something that we criticized LeBron in 2018 for doing. Kobe didn't win a championship with, you know. So and it went 7 games. The series went 7 games. So it was close.
Let me put.
I think this Lakers
Close
team
argument.
won the
Let
championship.
me put this in perspective.
Close argument.
The Lakers team that they remember that year that they won the championship, their first dynasty. That was Phil Jackson's first year there. The year before that, they had the same exact team and got swept by Spurs, who won a championship.
It was also the lockout year.
Lockout year. Okay.
That was a lockout year. But they still lost with the same exact team.
They were second in the NBA.
And it was second.
So you're
they
telling me
went and got Phil
so
Jackson.
time out.
So
So
you
telling me
put them over the hump.
but you're telling me that they still had Glenn Rice, they still had Ron Harper, still all those players? That's what you're telling
They
me?
even had Dennis Rodman.
Okay. So with that being said,
It's
now,
that.
so alright, I
So
understand.
when you lose pieces and you add other
what
pieces,
piece they lose? Dennis Rodman?
Rodman lost. Yeah, that's a piece.
Okay, you lose Dennis Rodman. What was Kobe doing that year? Tell me, he wasn't averaging 21 a night. So you lose Dennis Rodman, you gain actual Kobe. I understand what you're saying. What I'm saying is, it's easier to tell Glenn
Kobe
Rice.
was averaging more points that year. He was averaging 22.5.
Okay. I take back my statement. Even more to my statement. Even more. You already have Kobe playing at an all-star level. So, like, you're not coaching anybody up. That's the point I'm trying to make. Bill Jackson
You're
didn't
coaching
coach
them to win a championship.
You're coaching
That's
them to win a
It's a
championship.
different
Yes.
mindset.
Yes.
You can
Yes.
average 22
Yes.
points a game
Yes.
and lose and
Yes.
get smoked by the
It's
Spurs.
also easier-
Just like you were doing before.
Yes.
But when you get
Yes.
Phil Jackson, you add him into the mix. You bring that championship caliber. You bring the team to a new height that they've never been on before.
Okay. So that's like saying
You have to change the whole mindset.
that's like saying that Mark Jackson is the heads and tails worse. I mean, no, Steve Kerr is the heads and tails way better coach than Mark Jackson.
How's that like saying that?
Because they had the same exact team with the same exact players. The very next year, they're going to win a championship. He needs the coach to bring him over the top.
I will say this. I think
Right,
So coaching matters.
I think
Coaching does matter. What I'm saying
and
is,
Phil Jackson was a
what I'm trying to say.
was a
What I'm trying to
piece
say
that they was
is,
missing.
what I'm trying to say is,
Yeah.
it's a lot easier to win a championship when you have all-star players on your team, and you don't have to. You have to just put them in the right place. It's harder to win a championship when you have to groom players to play along with your all-star. That's what I'm saying.
I think
it takes more coaching to get stuff out of Shannon Brown and Sasa Vujacic than it does to get clutch moments out of Rick Fox and Derek Fisher and Glenn Rice and Ron Harper.
On the converse, when you have a team like the 2000 and I want to say 15 Cavaliers, who had superstar talent, and then they switch coaches and then wind up winning a championship the next year, which one was harder? Which one was harder?
And
The
then-
next year they didn't. The year before they didn't have Kyrie or Kevin Love, and they still went 6 with them with David Bly as their coach.
All right, y'all. And
So,
I don't know how
let's
this argument ended on the Heat. We'll get to them.
It wasn't the Heat, it's Cavaliers.
Yeah.
Ooh, see. I
Sorry,
guess we won't get to them.
LeBron.
I guess we won't get to them because that was the team that I had winning it all. Anywho, 2000 Lakers left
You
hand.
made this argument for no
2010
reason.
right hand.
2000 Lakers.
It's a show.
All right, here we go. Left hand 2000 Lakers, right hand 2010 Lakers. On 3. 1, 2, 3. 2010 Lakers, right hand, right?
Yeah.
So y'all both picked 2000 Lakers still.
Yes.
So Rob, you made all that argument to pick the 2000 Lakers.
The arguments I was making was that Phil Jackson was the better coach in 2010 and
We
Kobe was the
didn't get
better
past
player.
that.
No, we didn't get past that. That was the argument. That was the whole
Let's
argument.
try to get past the next part. Let's
Okay.
try to make an argument more than just the coaches this time. When we bring in our not giving
Woo,
no seeds. No seeds, no seeds. We just
Next
let's talk
matchup.
about it. Next matchup. Next matchup. 2004 Pistons versus the 2012 Miami Heat. So this is the first
It's
team.
Bad
that
Boys
Miami-
2.0.
It's Bad Boys against the Lakers. They won in 5 versus Miami. Their first chip together. D Wade, Chris Bosh, and LeBron James. They beat the Oklahoma City Thunder in 5. tidbit: Russell Westbrook had 42 points in that win.
That was game 1, right?
No, he had 42 points in the loss.
Game 1, they won though.
Yeah, he had 42 points in the loss.
And then they won 4 straight games in the finals.
Mm-hmm.
Kudos to that Heat team.
Mm-hmm.
So we got the Heat versus the Pistons.
As the Heat fan, am I supposed to talk about why the Heat are better?
I want to see, before I make my distinction, I want to just look and can someone tell me who were some of the key performers of that Heat team?
The key performers easily was D Wade,
Mm-hmm.
LeBron James,
Mm-hmm.
Chris Bosh.
Mm-hmm. So who are some of the role players?
Role
That's the
players,
better question.
Birdman.
Birdman.
I believe, I want to say Mike Miller was definitely
Mike
still,
Miller
I don't
on
know
that
if he
squad.
was playing as much though. James Jones was a part of that squad. That's what it was. James Jones, Shane Battier, Mario Chalmers,
Rio!
Norris Cole. It was starting Joel
That
Anthony.
was Norris Cole's second year. Oh, okay.
That's the second year in the league, right?
Yeah.
He came, don't
He
forget,
came-
Norris
he
Cole
came
came out of
Came
college
on.
averaging 30 a game.
He came on that second year.
Cole
though.
was a hooper in college. So, 2012, the 2012 Miami team, what made them so dynamic is kind of when you talk about the 2008 Celtics, which we haven't talked about yet. They kind of got together for a reason.
Mhm.
They wanted to get over the hump of beating Boston and to get them, LeBron and Chris Bosh their first chip. D Wade to add some more pieces to his mantle when it comes to making the argument for where he stands in history as one of the best players. And then after
Needed
that,
that
one
chip.
of the best shooting guards, if not the best players in the league, one of the best shooting guards in the league. They played against a young, scrappy Oklahoma Thunder team. That Thunder team had beat the last 3 representatives for the Western Conference to get there. They beat the Lakers, they beat the Spurs, and they beat the Mavericks on their way to the finals. And you can say they did it decisively. I mean, I don't think they played a game 7 in any of those cities. So, in Miami, and they won the first game against Miami. So we're talking about what would become
3 MVPs.
one. I think was Kevin Durant yet an MVP.
I don't think we're MVP yet.
So we're talking we'll become 3 MVPs,
Maybe,
3
I'm not
scoring,
sure.
three scoring champions, an assist leader, one of the first people to ever average a triple-double for multiple seasons, one of the best scorers of all time, arguably the best scorer in the game right now, all at a very young age. And I think I don't want to say that's why Miami won, because Miami was the supreme team, and I feel like even in their primes, if you put both of those teams in their primes, if you take Oklahoma and groom them, Miami would still be a tough out. Because you talk about LeBron in his prime, you're talking about talk about D Wade on James or Russ, as opposed to D Wade in his prime, defensive D Wade, I should say. Mario Chalmers has nothing for Russell Westbrook.
Talk about
Rio has nothing for
you
Russell
give us some
Westbrook.
clutch buckets.
But you might hit a shot or two, right?
Get some
Good
clutch
point,
buckets.
good point. Whereas 2004 Detroit Pistons, to me, is one of the best teams of all time, period. I think Detroit has the best storylines in modern sports when it comes to their championships in basketball. The ones in the 90s, in the early beginning of 89 and 90, and then the one in 2004. They beat some really good teams. Like, they beat some historically dominant teams, or even in this case, historically dominant players. And they dealt with them. 5 games. This Kobe that you was just arguing about, you guys both picked 2000 Lakers. He was still getting into his prime. He was there in 2004, 2003, 2004. Kobe was in it. He was in his game. Shaq was still, I think, so that was the year Shaq was second in MVP behind Steve Nash. Was that one of Steve Nash's
That
back-to-backs?
was the next year after that.
The next year after that. So Shaq was MVP prime. Karl Malone was hungry for one. That's why he left.
Old man
He was an
Malone.
old man Malone, but he wanted a championship.
Yeah, old man Malone still
Won the
give you
championship.
20 and 10.
And then you
You
had
had
Gary.
2010 that year.
Yeah, now you got Shaq and Kobe.
Yeah, you're not gonna get 20 when you got Shaq and Kobe. And Gary Payton went on to win a championship 2 years after this, in a role-playing role. So he wasn't on his last leg. He was on his.
He was a crucial part of that
He was
Miami
crucial
team.
part. I'm talking about the Laker team.
Oh, he started on our team.
Exactly.
He started with D Fish. Defense come off the bench.
Mm-hmm.
Josh said the
So,
glove.
and this team, this Pistons team did it. They did it without anyone averaging over 20 points all season. I think Rip Hamilton averaged 20 in the Chauncey or Rip. One of them averaged 20 in the finals. Just clipped 20 in the finals.
Yeah.
In the regular season, Rip Hamilton led the team in scoring with 17.6 points, followed by Chauncey Billups with 17 points a game. Rasheed Wallace was on a decline, and he had been in battles with Shaq in his prime.
I don't think that he was on a decline.
Chauncey averaged 21 in the finals.
I don't think that she was on a decline. I think that he knew his role and he fit into that system. You gotta remind yourself that they was playing under Larry Brown.
Mm-hmm.
So Larry Brown is
My way to Howard.
grit, grind, 110% effort on every play, 94 feet basketball.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, you gotta take away some of that offense. Some of that power on offense and use that for defense because that's what they were doing. And with that being said, there was a time during this season where the Pistons they traded for Rasheed Wallace midway through the season. And they were like struggling to win games. They went on like 2 7-game losing streaks in that season.
She was a bona fide, to me, offensive star.
He was also a bona fide knucklehead, and nobody knew what they wanted to do with him.
But
That's
Larry Brown.
exactly what made him so special for that team.
Mm-hmm.
Like he gave them the offensive punch, and
Give him that
we
attitude.
mentally hit.
Mm-hmm. Give him
You
that
say
attitude.
raw, I say raw.
Mm-hmm.
They gave
You
someone
say go, I say go.
to meet
Like,
that intensity and still be able
yeah, he was.
They allowed, I think,
to Black Widow him. The sun's
Mhm.
coming down. Get the Hulk out of his out of Hulk
man.
mode.
that Pistons team allowed Sheed to be himself.
Self.
The Trailblazers team, they was mad at Sheed for getting text. Larry Brown was like, "Go get text."
And he was
difference
embraced
was-
in Detroit.
In Detroit,
He was embraced.
he was older too. So he was the type of person that he would be upset. He would let you know how he feel, but he wasn't diving on the floor. I watched the finals highlights of the Western Conference Finals in 2000, where they lost that series. There was plays where this dude was rolling around on the floor after getting a foul called on him. It's things that you would see toddlers do. He wasn't doing that in Detroit. Larry, and I agree with you. I think Larry Brown had
Coaching, bro.
had a. You know, I'm thinking. I wonder if Russell Westbrook ever got a coach like Larry Brown.
Oh, I wonder if Billy Donovan is him and what's his name? Scott Brooks.
When Philly went to the championship was 2001, right? Next 2 years later, he got fired, and then 2004 he goes to the Pistons.
It's a pretty good record though. To say I can come here.
Hey, man, that
and
Pistons team
manufacture you 2
was
championships
coached by
back to
Rick
back.
Carlisle, who won Coach of the Year for that team.
Yeah,
and
they
then
couldn't-
they fired him.
And they couldn't get off the hump. They couldn't get over the hump.
They didn't have
And
Sheed.
they didn't have Sheed.
They didn't have
Joe
Sheed.
Dumars said that they needed a coaching change. And guess what? They want to play in the team that Rick Carlisle wound up coaching, the Pacers, in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Rick Carlisle was a great coach.
He is one of them.
Let's get
Rick
back to
Carlisle's
this.
a
What?
really good coach. Jim Carrey's a really good coach, bro.
Jim
Who?
Carrey.
Nah, Rick Carlisle looks like Jim
I said,
Carrey.
who? Larry Brown's a Kansas product, man. That's two Kansas
so we
products
say
that
that
made
to
it.
say, we say that to say, I'm going to go on a limb and say, I love that Heat team, but they're not messing with that Pistons team.
We got so much more to talk about with that Pistons team. I hope they don't make it out right now, but we're gonna go to a vote. Left hand 2004 Pistons, right hand 2012 Miami Heat. On 3, 1, 2, 3. And there we have it. The Pistons are moving on, and that brings us to our next matchup. Guys, it doesn't get easier.
I know
It does not get easier. We're gonna go with our 2000 and we're gonna go with 2 losing teams. So 2001 Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
This is the year against Allen Iverson, 16-1 in the playoffs. The infamous Allen Iverson steps over Tyronn Lue. Against the 2013 Heat. Now this is the second chip for them. This is when they added Ray Allen. Ray Allen hit that huge shot in Game 6.
Bad is on that team too.
Force a
correct?
Game 7. Shane Battier was on that team. Believe.
Battier on both teams?
Battier was on both teams. Battier is a champion. And that is our matchup. So 2013 Heat, 2001 Lakers. We got
2013 Heat versus 2001 Lakers.
2013 Heat beat Milwaukee in the first round
Brandon
4-0.
Jennings and them boys.
Mhm.
Monte.
They beat Chicago, who was supposed to be the competition.
And
Beat
5.
Chicago in 5 after all the talking they had been doing over the years. But Paul George, Roy Hibbert, David West, Monte Ellis took the Miami Heat to 7 in the Western Conference, in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Lance Stevenson.
Yeah, that's the blow in the air, Lance
Mhm.
Stevenson. And then Miami overcame that and ultimately won the finals in 7 against the San Antonio Spurs.
This is a battle-tested Heat team.
Mm-hmm.
This is their 3rd finals appearance in 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Just lost to Dallas.
Well, not just.
Just they lost to Dallas 2 years ago.
Mhm.
Just came off a championship, beating OKC, and then they went and got they did the first of the sneaks of the sneaks. But this is not even a snake, because they signed Ray Allen. They signed Ray Allen, and he was a part of that Boston team who frustrated LeBron and Wade so much that they decided to join teams. The team was cold though, man. I remember I remember we were having a conversation maybe a few episodes back, and we were talking about like what is a superstar's prime, right? And when I think of this Heat team, in my mind, this is the prime LeBron James. Like, this is the best version of LeBron that we have ever seen. When like I think he was shooting 50-40 and like 80% from the free throw line. Like LeBron shooting 40% from 3 is kind of crazy, but him to do that with the intensity that Miami played defense. I don't know if this is the year, but I want to say that this year they won like 20-something games in a row.
Mm-hmm.
So like this team was very dominant, and I think they got Birdman to play for a full year. They got some type of big man that was like, all right, we got our.
Birdman was the glue.
They got the big man. That was the
Birdman was in a sense their Rasheed Wallace, not in the scoring sense, but he brought the intensity, he brought the personality, he brought the crowd, and yeah.
Yeah, that Miami team was cold, bro. The Miami team was cold. Like it was the dang. We seen this coming, but now it's here. Like we all knew that like once LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Bosh like they joined up, it was going to be a matter of time for them literally dominating the NBA. And in my eyes, this was the year where they did that, like in front of everyone.
But when you speak about dominance,
Mm-hmm.
since you took the Heat side, I'm gonna take the Lakers side.
I was about to
You
give
speak about
boy,
dominance.
that year with the Lakers with Kobe and Shaq.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Ty. Get him.
They went 7 with the Portland team the year before.
Mm-hmm.
They smoked them in the first round in 3.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
They would go 7 with that Sacramento team the following year in the Western Conference Finals or the Western Conference Finals. They smoked them in 4 the year before. San Antonio would go on and represent the East. Represent the West after the Lakers were done with this for the next couple of years. They smoked them in 4. So whether it was the team that was already good, the team that was about to be really good, because this Sacramento team traded my boy Jason Williams for a more score-heavy point guard in Mike Bibby, and that's what kind of made them a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
Pedro was also hurt in 2002 in that series. He didn't play the first couple of games. So if you talk about Sacramento, who would become really good, a game away from going to the championship, and then the Spurs, who were already there, 1999, the years before this three-peat, the Spurs were there. Tim Duncan was already in the league. The Spurs were already making noise. The Spurs were not just this easy out team, and they would show that for the next 12 years, 12, 13 years. And they smoked them too. And then you got Allen Iverson, who's the MVP. Would you say 6 man was on the team, and Aaron McKee?
6 man, defensive player
Defensive player of the year, and Dikembe
all
Mutombo, Larry Brown, we just spoke of him, he was coaching.
He was coach of the year.
And it took Allen Iverson, I want to say 48, but let me make sure
Yeah,
I'm
it's 48.
right. It took Allen Iverson 48 points to sneak out of LA with a victory in game 1.
In overtime.
In overtime.
When Shaq wasn't blocking the shot.
Yeah.
I'm not jacking that.
That's what Shaq
I'm not
said.
jacking
He
that.
said he's
Not
a
jacking
few
that.
people. Just say it. You hear that, Shaq?
I heard that.
Say.
There's also a few people that can make you look bad if you try to block their shot.
AI is one of them.
AI is one of them. Who else he said? What other names on that list?
VC.
That'll dunk on your head. Remember, Shaq never been dunked on.
He ain't never been dunked
Because
on.
I don't want to block VC shot. Negro, you don't want to get dunked on.
He put VC on his back, but get a chest. Bah!
Well, if you gonna do that,
That's why he ain't never been dunked on. That's what I'm telling you.
It's hard to dunk on somebody.
It takes some cojones to go in there and get a shot.
I'm thinking about the guys that he named, and these are guys that one jumped over a 7-footer. You talk about
I think it was
VC.
Penny too. I think Penny was the last one.
T-Mac sat on
No,
the
Grant
7.
Hill. Grant Hill was the last one.
Yo, if y'all haven't, because Grant Hill was always hurt, go and look at Grant Hill highlights.
This highlights.
Go look at Grant Hill highlights.
No 3-ball will kill you with the mirror.
And they
range.
will dunk on your head
crazy.
too. Smooth, quiet, regular.
Same
Kawhi
process.
style. Not too much expression after. But not Tim Duncan. Tracy McGrady was dunking on 7'6" people. I remember he sat on Sean Bradley's
Right,
back
yeah.
off the baseline one time. So I hear you, Shaq, but I think you capped just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Little cat.
I'm pretty sure there were some situations where you felt like you could have got in there, got a block, and thought better of it. And I don't think when you say you thought better of it was, I like this guy, I'm gonna let him score on me. It was more or less, I ain't finna get embarrassed out here, I'm about to break somebody's neck, and I like this guy. so I'm not gonna do it.
Facts.
Man, I kind of. Shaq was just a dominant force, man. He like I went back to watch the
Side, dude.
I think it was this Pistons championship, and like literally, bro. Well, not the Pistons championship. Yeah, the Pistons championship. But literally, he would just get the position inside, put his hand up. Yes, bro.
And that's
his back.
And that to me is why I got this 2001 Lakers team, because not only was Shaq at the height of his powers, Kobe had a ridiculous season that season. Shaq averaged 28.7, Kobe averaged 28.5. Right with you.
Well, it's
There's
1-2 punch.
That Lakers
No.
team was so
And
dominant.
then
The 1-2 punch in the offensive scheme is dump the ball down to Shaq. If they help, find the shooters. Even worse, if you got a one-on-one with Kobe, once it comes back out, most likely got a bucket. Because he can hit the difficult shots, but he doesn't need to go into the lane, and he can still get there.
I can't believe I'm doing this, but I'm gonna do it. I'm making a LeBron James argument over Kobe Bryant. LeBron James' second year off of winning the championship. So he won the championship
2012.
next year, right? So he won the championship with 2012 in the Heat. The next year, the Heat had the best record in NBA. 66 wins, 16 losses. First offense, 9th defense. That's LeBron's. The Lakers, oh yeah, by the way, he won MVP that year. We'll throw that in there. The Lakers, no MVP. Second best record in NBA, 56 wins, 26 losses, 6th best offense, and 21st best defense. So like, I hear y'all with dominance.
You said 6th first best offense and 21st
21st
best
defense.
And then they went 16-1 when it mattered most.
I hear you.
So,
LeBron
and
James
that's,
won
can
MVP.
I say to you this?
Mhm.
Both teams, because they're both coming off a championship. That's the beauty of
That's
this.
the beauty
right
of
here. They're
the
both coming off a
comparison.
championship.
Yes.
Both coming off of one championship.
Yes.
Is it fair to say, because I watched it with LeBron too, once you come off a championship sometimes,
Yeah.
you kind of like mull into the next season?
You don't come out.
I don't
as
think that's
aggressive.
fair to say.
I don't
I
think
think-
everybody comes out as aggressive.
I think when superstars get that championship that they've been longing for and it clicks, to me, I've seen them going to further heights.
Right, but I
That's-
believe
to me.
in the postseason. In a regular season, they kind of coast a little bit, and then they turn it up because they know, all right, we know we the champions. I don't got nothing to prove to y'all.
For example,
Y'all gotta come for us.
LeBron said I'm thinking about LeBron and playoff Bron when he came to LA and said, "Oh, going playoff Bron mode 2 months early." There's a mode. Not to say that it worked out, because it didn't at all. but there's a mode
There's a
that you can
mindset.
go into,
Yeah, and you
especially
like-
stars.
Serious.
But with this being said, Miami was coming off a chip too, and they still won 66 games.
So they had that move.
But I think, but the difference between them and this Laker team, a three-peat was not the goal. The goal was to win. But this Miami team, not 4, not 5, not 6. They're already guaranteed so many champions. You can't just sit back and say, "Oh yeah, I got one. I'm good now." No, and that's why they went 4 in a row. And when LeBron realized, well, we're not gonna get into 2014. Do we have 2014
No, we don't.
Spurs on here? We don't, so we won't be talking.
That was my dark horse.
2014 Spurs.
Yeah, I like that Spurs team. But anyways,
Also,
back to this Heat and Lakers.
my thing is coaching too. I think Phil Jackson out-coached circles around Eric Spoelstra.
I ain't gonna say on coach circles. I think he will out-coach him. I don't think he'll out-coach him by circles.
Spoelstra's
Spoelstra's a good coach.
Spoelstra's a great
more
coach.
than a good
He's a
coach. I
great
think he's
coach.
so underrated.
He's a great
But
coach.
there's
Because
good coaches
you
and there's
just talked
legendary
about-
coaches. And he doesn't fall in that legendary category.
But what makes the legendary coaches legendary, John? Is it the flash in the pan or is it the longevity?
It's a longevity.
So give Spoelstra. This is Spoelstra creating his
Can I say something
legendary
about longevity?
status.
Right.
Go ahead, Ty.
Phil Jackson was not with the Bulls for more than 10 years.
Mm-mm.
He was not with the Lakers for more than 10 years.
Mm-mm.
And they weren't always successful when he was there.
The Bulls, yes.
My Lakers run.
Ever since he was with the
My
Bulls,
Lakers
he
run.
Was he there when Jordan retired? Did he leave too?
He did
When
leave.
Jordan retired, they were winning chip. They were winning team though.
Winning team.
Which one?
They didn't win no championship.
Which one? The second retirement or the first retirement?
I'm talking about in the middle of the championship. So 95.
He was still coaching. They
I
were
can't
still
wait for the
winning.
last dance or something.
They made one game away from making the championship against Orlando.
Okay.
And then the next year it was against the Knicks and they lost 1 game too.
Okay.
So they was there.
What I'm saying about Spoelstra is Spoelstra stepped into this as an interim coach, not an
man-
interim coach.
My
but
man
he
was
worked
a
his way up.
video
From the
assistant.
Video assistant. Not only
Assistant.
did he work his way up, bro. Phil Jackson was able to go to a team where he was sorted out. Same thing with Larry Brown, where he sorted out for a team that was already damn
Superstar
good.
already.
Like you just said, they already had Shaq Kobe. They were already in the
Ready.
second best record in the league before. Kobe was already in his prime. Larry Brown. The guys in Detroit were already a game away. They needed
They
a
had the coach of the year.
They had the coach of the year. They
need a piece.
Eric Spoelstra came into Miami, dealt with all the egos that you speak about,
Yeah.
dealt with all the regular plays that you speak about after the
Media and
fact.
all that.
The meat.
But I tell you what,
LeBron
And
James
he
and all
hasn't
that.
been a loser. I mean, he's had some losing seasons,
You wanna know why?
but he's been. And what I'm trying to say about Spoelstra is when you compare him to Phil Jackson, you can't really compare him until you say, "Yo, Spoelstra, go coach Golden State." Yo, Spoelstra, go coach Philly, who's 1 game away, because he's never left that spot.
and he's not
I'm
because-
saying-
And he probably won't because he's that good.
But here's my thing.
It's not like Miami's been trash.
Yeah, shout out to Pat
Miami
Riley.
never gets a top 5 draft pick.
Shout out to Pat Riley, literally grooming him. That was my little one take on him.
Okay.
But I will say this.
But what I was gonna say something.
The way I don't compare them as far as how great they are. I compare them as far as what adjustments are you making in the playoffs and how do you motivate your team to do that. And I've seen Phil Jackson just do it on way too many levels. Whether it's like I'm gonna motivate Shaq to actually drop 30 tonight by talking smack to the media or getting in Kobe's ear, or I'm gonna actually just say we're gonna run a triangle for Shaq all night. Like I've seen those type of adjustments from Phil Jackson. Whether I can play big, or I can play small, whether I can play spread, or I can play fast. Like I can see that. I'm not saying I haven't seen those same things from Spoelstra. I just want to see them more, and that's why. That's the only reason why I give the nod to Phil Jackson in coaching.
Okay. That's definitely a plus to Phil Jackson, but I would expect that he has over Spoelstra. One thing that I would say that also is negative that I haven't seen from Spoelstra is I've never seen players call Evan Spoelstra out. I've never seen anyone say that, yo, I don't want to play with him. I don't want to be a part of his organization.
I've heard.
The worst I've seen was LeBron and him bump shoulders. That's the worst I've seen. And I wish.
And then LeBron ended up getting it back down.
Part of me wishes that he would have been like that with those stars, because Phil Jackson is coming into the Lakers with the reputation already. Kobe hadn't won shit. Shaq hadn't won nothing before they got there. And this is a guy with 6 rings. Eric Spoelstra is the guy from the video booth, the guy from the video editing. Basically,
who used to give Dwayne Wade here some film of this guy you're playing tonight.
so more like the little bro now becoming the big bro, and not just a regular big bro with a team, but with the most iconic players of the generation at the time. Two out of the 3 of the most iconic players of the generation at the time. So
Yeah.
that was tough. And you talk about personalities, bro. You got Mario. You got Udonis Haslem, who had been there forever and been there for a chip before. You got Birdman, who was recovering, with his drug use and the because he's
It's
only
a real
2-3
hit,
years
yep.
away from that. He's only 2-3
real
years away
win.
from that.
He got Eddie Curry chip too.
Chris Bosh is one of the biggest personalities in the league. It's not necessarily negative, but it's a huge personality. And it's all good when you're 27-5, but when you're 9-8, and it's joking, and your best players is joking and having fun, it ain't the same. So I think Eric Spoelstra is extremely underrated. I don't want to go too far into a tandem with him, but is he a better coach than Phil Jackson?
No.
Not yet. No.
Not yet.
But is he?
understand.
Should he be recognized when we talk about elite coaches? When we talk about top coaches.
He's a great coach.
I think he's up
He's a
there.
great coach.
And I think if he was to move, if he wasn't as loyal, or if the team wasn't as, if the organization wasn't
Spo don't
as,
need to go nowhere. He needs
If
to
he
stay
did,
exactly
though,
what,
he would have some chips.
I don't think it'll be the same. I love Spoelstra as a coach, but I think Miami has a mafia over there headed by Pat Riley,
I was about to say that,
and
I hear you. Pat Riley's won championships in other places.
Absolutely, but what I'm saying is that helps Spoelstra. Like,
But my man, sometimes you gotta get away from them. They all do it. The Pops have them. Pops has a lineage.
Same time. Sometimes you got to do like Kobe.
it had the
Bermuda
triangle.
Triangle.
All right.
And
Eventually, he's gonna move on. He has to.
Nope.
I don't.
Spo gonna be.
That would be
Popovich.
amazing. That would be amazing.
As long as Pat Riley there, bro.
That would be
that's-
amazing.
And the owners over there.
Sound good, Rob. 2-3 years of losing. Changed a lot.
Who we got,
So
man?
left hand 2001 Lakers, right hand 2013 Heat. On 3. 1, 2, 3. Got your ass.
Heat. That Heat team is just too deep, man. It's just too deep. The Lakers lost Glenn Rice. They lost AC Green. AC Green was on that team too.
They
Lost
got
Ron
Horace
Harper.
Grant on that team.
Yeah, but
They
they
still
lost,
have Ron Harper on that team.
They lost a lot of varying pieces. They made up for it, but that's why they just weren't the Heat.
You know me, I vote more based on storyline, and you know
The Heat team.
the Heat won Game 6. You said it before. Kawhi Leonard makes that free throw. All of this is not even a conversation right now, but he didn't. And LeBron James missed the 3, but he didn't miss it off the back of the rim. He missed it off the front of the rim. He issued the air ball. He missed it off the right side of the rim. Chris Bosh was not in the best position for that rebound, but he got his hands on it. Ray Allen might have got away with a travel, but he got the shot up.
No, he did. He didn't try. It was a 1-0, 1-2.
I don't think he ever dribbled the ball, bro.
Listen,
Ray Allen dribbled the ball. I
in
think
those
he
bang
caught
bang
it like
plays, anything goes.
he caught it in the
bro.
middle of a James Harden gather step.
Those bang bang plays. Back then, the NBA was replaying.
Yep.
So storyline wise, that being Game 6 and then winning Game 7, you know, the big highlight of LeBron getting the block on Thiago Splitter. Yeah, man, and that team was dominant. It wasn't like a cheap win.
Nah,
I'm not saying Lakers got a cheap win with AI, but it wasn't a cheap win.
formidable foe, man.
Yeah,
formidable foe.
It was a better win to me than OKC at that point. OKC would groom the better players over time, but at that time, Scott Brooks, younger guys versus Greg Popovich, Kawhi Leonard before he became Kawhi Leonard. Don't forget, Kawhi Leonard got a loss in these finals, y'all. Because I think Kawhi Leonard is going to, at the end of his career, be in. He can make his way into these Kobe, LeBron, Jordan, Magic, Bird. He can make his way into those kind of conversations. I don't know if he can make his way into the top Jordan conversation,
He got a ways to
Jordan
go.
Magic
He got a ways
conversation,
to go.
but
He has a chance.
I can like
He has a
projected
chance.
wise, if it's projecting his potential, it's top Hall of Fame quality.
I think he'll fall into the Isaiah range.
Thomas, okay, that's fair. That could be like his floor though.
Who's the next matchup?
All right. Next matchup, last first round matchup we have is the 2008 Boston Celtics. The Big Three, the original Big Three. The league would never be the same.
Never.
The league would never be the same. Versus the 2017 Warriors. A remnant of that Celtic team. Those were the Celtics are the ancestors in what the 2017 Warriors
So we
would
got
become.
KD's first chip.
Mm-hmm.
No, it is the first.
This is
chip.
his first chip.
chip.
Mm-hmm.
That was Nick Young.
In fact, let's not even do that. Both of those teams are ascendants of the 2008 Celtic team because the Cavs had Kyrie, Kevin Love, and LeBron. Only one of those. Well, one of those players were there when the other players got there. So two people were traded over or signed over there. One was traded, one was signed. And then with the Warriors, again, they drafted two of them. They already had two, and then they went and signed one to add to their three-headed monster. Who we got?
This is a tough one.
This is the tough.
Not a tough one. This is not tough.
This is one of the
This
toughest
one's not
ones.
tough. This is the easiest one.
This is the easiest one. All right, so I'm gonna give y'all a little sneak preview on my personal list. These two teams are 1 and 2 for who should be the number 1 team. So for me, this is extremely tough. Two great coaches, Doc Rivers and Steve Kerr. Two multi-talented teams.
Overrated coach. Look at that.
They're great coaches. When you win multiple championships,
Doc is not overrated.
I think Doc is more overrated.
Doc is the epitome of making more out of his players than
He is a
than
shell
what they are.
of Phil
He's
Jackson.
a mini Greg Popovich.
He is a
for me.
great value Phil Jackson.
He's a great Popovich. He's a great value Greg Popovich. That's what I look at. Doc. But
I'm crying. Great back.
that Celtics team, I just want to give perspective. Although Kevin Garnett and Ray Allen did join that team and have what would seem to be the start of the fall off of their careers, the year before that, they were all coming off like 25 points a night from like Ray Allen. KG is giving like 23 and 12. Like Paul Pierce, same thing, 25. So these are all dudes in their prime, like of their playing on individual teams. And the reason why I'm just gonna give this some shine right now is because the way that they did it, man. Like I remember like it was yesterday. Like, oh man, KG want to get traded. Dang. Ray Allen get traded over there to the Celtics for Jeff Green. I'm like, what? What's going on? Next thing you know, KG over there, and I'm like, oh man, like they could really win a chip this year.
It's funny.
And they really won a chip that year. Like,
First year.
1 year, one shot, let's go, boom.
Let's
Like,
get it.
for me, I had never seen a collection of talent like that on a team. And for them to kind of just make all the theories, like, if you were to put a super team together, could they really be cohesive? Could they really win a championship? Would they really be dominant? And they answered all 3 of those questions for me. Like, although they went against my Lakers, and I still feel like if we had Andrew Bynum and Trevor Reason, we probably would have won that finals, right? But at the end of the day, they won. So I'm going to give them credit for that. That Celtics team was dominant, bro. And what made them so dominant to me was their defense intensity. Like, they had defenders on defenders on defenders on defenders, and they were versatile. So, I like that Celtics team, man.
As great as the Celtics were, and I was a big, huge fan of the Celtics because they smoked your Lakers that year.
They ain't smoking. They won 6.
They beat y'all in 6.
It's not smoking.
And KG finally got. I was really more excited about KG getting his first ring. Really. Like, this man was the epitome of intensity, heart, grit, grind, and like he doesn't get the snake trait because he left, because he stuck it out with the Timberwolves.
Like 12 years.
More than he had to.
It was butt ring.
More than he had to. And this man like gave it all. So for him to win, I was really happy to see KG get a ring. I was happy to see Paul Pierce get a ring. I was happy to see Ray Allen get a
Another
ring.
Kansas product.
And Doc Rivers, bro. I remember I was a Tracy McGrady fan. So I remember Doc Rivers when he was coaching T-Mac. And them getting ousted in the first round of playoffs.
And
They was beating up 3-1 and losing.
Yeah,
Years that he was butting, they was calling him a trash coach, bro. So I remember that. Yeah.
Go ahead.
But anyways, Doc, I was happy to see Doc win. And then he got the coach of the year that year in Orlando. So he really wasn't that butch. Anyway, going on. But this Golden State team was on another level. It's rare that you can see the number 1 offensive team also match the intensity on defense and be the number 2 defensive team in the league. On top of that, they have 3 scorers averaging over 20 points a game. 3. Not 1, not 2, but 3. Oh, and may I add, they had 2 players.
May
I add, they had two shooters shooting over 40% from deep, and Steph and Clay, and then KD coming behind them shooting 38%. How are you stopping that?
With defense, John.
Oh, that's right. And if you want to play defense, we can play defense too, because we got clamps. We can put the depth line up in, however you want it. You want to put Andrew Bogut in and lock you up too, we can do that. However you want it. We got Eddie coming off the bench.
Andrew Bogut?
Yeah, Andrew Bogut.
and lock you up.
Bruh, I'm gonna say
And
this.
lock you up.
It don't really
1 and
matter
2
if they
defense.
put Andrew Bogut in on defense when you're already up 15-20 from the defense that you play with the starters. And I know that I have to be able to hit 15 to 23s to even
keep up with
compete.
you.
So you're not really playing defense if I'm throwing up I'm a young team throwing up a whole bunch of, jacking up a whole bunch of threes.
And they're shooting efficient back. They're doing it efficiently.
Man.
They're not doing it like
If the
they're jacking up
Warriors
threes
were to go
like
against
Houston.
a big man, if DeMarcus Cousins ain't get hurt, I ought to see what they would get against two big low post dudes and see how great Andrew Bogut and Draymond Green and all them
But
depth.
they had big
Yeah,
bodies.
yeah, I want to see that.
Committee.
What I'm trying to say is their
That's
only
not-
flaw,
you not.
they couldn't be exposed because of the way the NBA was. That's my only argument against this.
Here's
team.
my argument to this team that you say when you say the best championship team. You said they had Clay and Steph shooting 40% from three, right?
41%.
Or-
Over 40%.
What were they doing the year before when they went 70? You said they were the first best. What was Steph and Clay doing the year before when they were 73-9, not playing fourth quarters? What was you said they were the first best offense and the second best defense in the league? What were they the year before KD got there? 1-1.
So
And they lost in the finals.
So they got worse defensively?
Because
No.
Harrison Barnes couldn't hit the side of the backboard.
In the finals, but in the 73-9 season, Harrison Barnes was pretty solid. In the
10
finals,
points a
got
game
you.
was solid as opposed to 25 points a game.
Who else went down and scored?
Harrison Barnes did not average 10 points a
He
game.
did average 10 points a game.
Show
10 points and 10 points. You want to pull it up?
Please show me the 10 points in the 7-3-9
Okay.
team.
I'll pull it up right now.
And even if, what's his name, points went down from 18 to 10 too.
That means Draymond must be averaging about 15.
Draymond was
man.
getting about 18, and he went down, I believe, to 10 when KD got there. Draymond had his worst statistical season the first year when KD was there. That's when Draymond officially became butt. Draymond was all-star before that.
Draymond was arguably a top 5 power forward.
Harrison Barnes 11 points a game.
12 points a game. 11.7. That's
And how much he
12
shooting? Y'all, what he shooting?
Draymond was getting 14 a game.
What is he shooting?
46%.
46 as a fourth option?
47.
And what's he shooting from the 3-point line?
38.
38.
30. That's darn good. That, may I add? That's pretty darn good for a
I
fourth
know it
option.
ain't 25.3.
You know why?
It ain't rebounds.
But why wasn't it 25.3?
Because he wasn't
Because the two-time MVP was on his damn team.
Yeah, and you got two
And
times.
then you added a two-time MVP to your team.
Yeah.
My argument is...
So you
not-
added on to my argument because now I got two MVPs on the same team.
Never been done before.
Mhm.
Never
My
been done.
argument is you're not going to me, I'm not going to crown this as the best team when the
No, the argument right now is that they're better than the Celtics. That's
Well,
the
I don't
argument.
think they're better than the Celtics. Because the Celtics did it in 1 year. They put it together in 1 year.
This is KD's first year.
None of those guys had been to the finals already. None of them. None of their 3 stars or Rondo, who came out of nowhere,
Right.
Rondo
Have
was
been
like a young boy. He was like a
have
rich.
been to the finals.
Second
So one thing that you said about the teams is dominance, right?
No, I didn't say
I said dominance.
I said dominance. One thing that we say about the team is dominance.
Mhm.
This Golden State Warriors team lost one game that entire postseason.
they were less dominant than the team the year before them.
They were.
How are they less dominant? They
regular
lost
season.
one game and they lost in the finals. That's not dominance. You have to finish it off. You can't start off the race and be in first place, and then when you get to the end of the finish line and do zoom past you. That's not dominance.
Here's the dominance. The Celtics had the #1 defense. The next team was like 10 points away.
Okay?
That's
And
dominant.
Warriors
So that
got
means-
number 2 defense, and the Warriors got number 1 offense. So that means that they're dominant on both sides of the end, both sides of the court.
They're dominant
I don't
both sides of
understand
the
how
court.
much more dominant you have to be.
You can.
And you only lost one game in the postseason. What else is
We
we
could have voted
doing?
out a team that only lost 1 game in the postseason.
Yeah, that's true. But I don't know why y'all go to that. That doesn't make no sense to me because
Listen.
that Lakers team was way better than the Heat team. I didn't agree with it. And I'm not
And
agreeing.
look at this-
I'm not agreeing.
And
with the
here's
Celtics team.
here's why I feel like
I
this
agree.
Celtics team is why if I were to vote, I would give the Celtics team a nod. That's why they were my #1 team.
Look, y'all don't like the. This is
Can I finish-
be
can I
honest.
finish my
The
statement?
reason why y'all don't want to give the Warriors a chance is because the KD was on that team and he left it and he left OKC. He went over there.
No,
If you take
no,
if you take
that has
that out of
nothing to
the
do with it.
equation,
That
you
has
take that out
nothing
of
to
the
do with
equation, then we
That
won't be
has
having this
nothing to do with it.
conversation.
No. That had nothing to do with it. This 08 Celtics team beat my Lakers team. Kobe would have had 6 rings. So don't sit here and say, oh, just because, right? So I hate this Celtics team. The reason why they over the Warriors, they are deeper. Way deeper.
All right, deeper. Name him.
Okay. Eddie, what's his name? Eddie House on that team.
Iguodala.
Glenn Davis.
Sean
Tony
Livingston.
Allen.
Tony Allen played 4
3 Hall of Famers.
Tony Allen played 4 minutes.
Okay.
Brother played 4 minutes.
John, they had Kendrick Perkins.
Okay.
They had Leon Cole.
Andrew Bogut. The same thing.
Sam
Draymond.
Cassell.
Kendrick Perkins.
Kendrick Perkins. No.
Leon Poe and
Sam
Kobe.
Cassell is the
What about
champion.
Brian? What about the White Kobe? What about White Mamba? What about Ryan Scalabrine?
Scalabrine played minutes in the finals.
He's a guy that you know though, but
What you talking about?
You know Scalabrine. You
Eddie
know
House.
Scalabrine.
Eddie House, don't act like that.
You
John.
know who Leon Poe was.
What about David West?
P.J.
What
Brown.
about Nick Young?
So
that Leon Poe canceled out with David West.
Let's do this.
Yes, they do. David West was a better player than Leon Poe. You got Leandro Rabbit Martin did that. Leon Poe better than David West. Leon Poe ain't never made no All-Star team. In the history of his life.
Cool. John, you got that. Let's do a player-for-player comparison while we're on the air. Instead of
Okay.
y'all talk about young. Who? Kevin Garnett. Who's number
Draymond.
1? That's your number 1?
Okay, go ahead.
No. We're doing top.
That's not a
John.
comparison,
Come on, John.
Okay, KD versus Kevin Garnett.
Okay,
KD.
Cool.
There you go.
Okay, you got that.
Any one of the
Paul
three.
Pierce.
Versus, let's say,
Top 3, John. It
You
has
top
to be
3, John. It's always Stephen Clay.
It gotta be Stephen Clay.
Okay, you got that one. Cool. Ray Allen.
Clay. I'm saying Clay.
Cool. Now let's go.
You taking Clay?
Yep.
Actually,
Yeah,
go back to the team, Tom. Please go back to the team.
I was on Leon Poe.
That's his team. Jesus Christ.
So now you got.
Rondo.
Versus Draymond.
Okay, fair.
They both same.
Fair.
Kendrick Perkins.
Fair. Say Bogut.
JaVale McGee.
Nah.
I'm taking Perkins all day.
They're the same player.
No,
I'm
they're
taking McGee.
Here's the
I'm
difference.
taking
Here's
McGee.
the difference between
What's the
Kendrick
difference?
Perkins and JaVale
What's the
McGee.
difference?
Smartness. That's the difference.
JaVale McGee played way smarter with the Warriors. And he came up in crucial minutes with the Warriors. Remember, he scored the first 12 points of the game when it was KD and Lake and Cavaliers, bro.
KG 8 and 8. What he do? We ain't having no 8 points.
Kendrick Perkins, yeah, you can't click on him.
I have been. It's not working.
Listen. Next.
Oh, we're not done with JaVale McGee.
I'm gonna say this. I don't judge it based on player to player comparison. I'm talking about when I talk about the best. You already know. I said it before. I like to bring in storyline. I don't like the Warriors storyline. I don't like the Warriors storyline. I don't like who they played to get there. They didn't play the best teams in the West to get there. They did not play Houston. They played Utah, who did Utah beat? That's what I want to know. They played San Antonio. They got rid of San Antonio.
What he do, John?
What happened?
No. What he do? Don't say Perkins got it. What he do?
6 and 3.
6 and what?
6 and
6
3.
rebounds?
6 points.
How many rebounds? Val McGee, a great rebounder, great do the same exact thing. He didn't get 5 less rebounds. Talk about. And then on top of that, this Celtics team was way more cohesive as a unit than that Warriors team was. They were beefing from the time Kevin Durant won his
They were
first.
not. Look, that was the first shit. They wasn't beefing during the first shit.
From the time he won his first championship, it was beefing.
The first shit, it wasn't beefing. This is the first shit. So that argument doesn't stand here.
Okay,
Hey,
you're right.
my
you're right.
argument. My argument.
Draymond is Green to show himself, and Rondo is a way better player than Draymond Green. That's my argument.
They probably had the same amount.
No. Draymond Green
Draymond
with Kevin Durant is not Draymond Green that we know and love. Rondo with the big 3 is the best version of Rondo we know. That's what I'm trying to
He brought
say.
that same intensity on defense, and he was way better offensively.
Way better.
And he couldn't shoot, and he was still way better offensively.
He was the engine of that Celtics team.
They both can shoot. I know what Rondo didn't get defensive player of the year. I know what Draymond got during those years.
No.
Defensive player of the year.
No. We're not
He
talking
was
about.
showing himself. He was showing himself. We got defensive.
No, we're not talking about during those years. I want to know if Draymond Green won Defensive Player of the Year that year. If he got that, then I'll give it to you. If not, don't give me nothing after 2017.
2017 is a star next season.
That's his All-Star. That don't mean he won Defensive Player of the Year. What I'm trying to say is, Rondo that year was balling. Draymond Green that year, they got it. He was on it.
2016, 2017 defensive player of the year.
So you got defensive player of the year.
Best version of himself.
Okay. Defensively, not offensively.
The best version of Draymond is when he's locking up on defense.
It's not the best. It's not better than
When he's locking up.
John, let's be
Not
real.
just
Say, I know I ain't got no accolades like that.
Okay.
And not in that year.
Okay.
So you talking about deeper? That argument is not because I told you.
What do you mean? Well, you know what? Let me not even go there because I think that this team was deeper. I actually think the Golden State Warriors were deeper. I think they were deeper by default. But like I said before, I look at 2000. To me, what makes the 2007 Celtics better? On the way, they beat Bron in 7. On the way, they beat Detroit, who had been to the finals the years before. Had been to the finals, the same Detroit team. They beat Cleveland and they beat Atlanta, who was a damn good team at the time with Josh Smith and Marvin Williams.
And this is their first year,
Al
bro.
Horford and Mike Bibby and Jamal Crawford. I think T-Mac was on that bench. So, again, this is their first year. They were the best team in the conference. They got rid of the stars in the conference. They didn't have to play them lose and then add to the fact. I like this team's storyline way better. I love it, man. The 2008 Celtics, I remember that's when I really first started writing. And I started writing in 2006, but this is my senior year. And I'm following this heavy as hell. And watching the Celtics that year, especially with D-Wade being hurt majority of that year.
I get it.
Extremely fun
I
to
get it.
watch.
You like the storyline. It's more fun to watch. The thing about when you're great and when you do it on that level consistently, and Michael Jordan said they got tired of me winning, so that's why I had to retire and come back and win. This team was so good. It was so good. Nobody wanted to watch basketball because they knew they was going to win before the game started, before the season started. Well, that's how you know. That's how dominant they are. When we talk about the greatest teams ever to do it.
That's not the end all for me, bro. Okay, they signed the best player already having the best team. You're supposed to be like that. Everybody's expecting that. You did what you were supposed to do. I got it. You didn't take the hardest road. There was no adversity. The adversity came next year when somebody got hurt. Now you got adversity, and when adversity came and struck, they didn't do as good. The adversity came in the year 2019 when somebody got hurt. 2018, somebody did get hurt, and that's when they didn't win. They didn't go 16-1 in the finals the next year. They went in a dogfight with Houston where they should have lost. They went. And they didn't play Houston that year before. They played Utah. Utah had been getting outed in the playoffs for the last 5-6 years in the second round, no matter who they played. They were a great defensive team with no offensive presence. So they were gonna sweep Utah. They got Portland in the first round. Portland had been sneaking into the playoffs for the longest at this time. They weren't supposed to be there. Everybody knows Dame and CJ was not supposed to carry that team. We didn't know Dame and CJ was planning on doing this for the next 2-3 years, every freaking year. They had to win out. They had to win a lot of games down the stretch to even make the playoffs. They got rid of them in 4. The storyline, and that was the same thing with my storyline with the 2015 Warriors, which I like that team a lot more because they built it from the bottom up. But they also got a lot of fortune on their way to the finals. The one time there was adversity the 2 times there was adversity for them, they lost.
I mean, the team that they played in the final was no slouch either.
Right.
They smoked everybody going into the championship too. 4-0, 4-0, 4-1. So they were just as dominant in the West, in the East. But when they played against the best team in the league, they got smoked.
Here's my thing.
What do you don't understand what more you want?
Here's my thing. Yes, the
You
Warriors.
beat the team that's in front of you. You beat them convincingly. You become the number 1.
Everybody
team.
here is champions.
My thing is,
We're not talking about how you win or on what level.
I get you. My thing is, I feel like a lot of these teams can win in different eras, right? They can match up against different teams. They don't have those glaring flaws. But this Warrior team, the only flaw, and it sucks that they're going against the Celtics, because any other team, I would vote for them. John, I got you 110%. But against the Celtics team, they can't guard big men. They can't. Because we haven't seen that.
So how can you say they can't?
So what I'm saying is,
based on the personnel, they can't guard big men.
What I'm saying is, I've seen big men have good games against them, right? I've seen Joel Embiid have a good game against them before. What I'm saying is, I've seen these Celtics, they made Kobe play terrible in the finals. I said that on air. That's what the Celtics do. They beat Dwight. They beat LeBron. They beat a full cohesive Atlanta team. Like they showed me that their flaws aren't as glaring as the Warriors' flaws. Granted, the Warriors' strengths are that golden and democratical. But I believe that their cohesiveness, their defensive intensity, and their ability to match up with any type of players from era to era, that's why I think this Celtics team is the best championship team in the last 20 years. That's why I got it.
My last piece on this. I think the Celtics team had a better championship run. I think it was more meaningful. I think it was the better storyline. And on the Celtics side, I will give you this. They had 3 of the best shooters in the league's history. Probably 3 of the top 5 best shooters in league history, and 1 and 2 were already there. KD may be arguably the most talented, all-around talented player in NBA history. They added him for free. But to me, personally, as a competitor, as a sports watcher and a sports player, as a fan as well, and as a video game player, I'm not about to say that you're the best playing the game on pro, bro. And that's how I felt like they did when they did that season. Granted, I'm not mad at the Warriors organization for doing it. Any organization, anybody running an association, whether it be video game or real life, get an opportunity at KD. You see what Brooklyn did. Brooklyn traded away what seemed to be their up and coming. Kind of looks like Brooklyn was the Knicks back when they got Melo.
Mm-hmm.
But who the hell is trading that down? If I have an opportunity to grab KD and Kyrie, I will get rid of my best player, the guy that got me here, and bank on the other guys that was doing pretty good. And Spencer Dinwiddie and Karis LeVert. In this case, the Warriors, they lost to a team that they had beat. They lost in 7. They were the best team in the league. And instead of meeting that adversity head up and saying, yo, we can beat them, let's go back at them. That was, like you said, it was the same Cleveland team. We can beat them, let's go back at them. They said, nah, we're going to add the best player in the league with this 73-9 team. Not a bad decision if you want to win, I grant it, but to me, I'm not going to forget how you got there. And I'm not going to wait.
It goes back to my point about Kevin Durant and how it puts in the bias. And see,
it's not bias, bro. That's my opinion. That's not a bias. Okay. That's not a bias. I'm not saying that they were not dominant on the court. I'm saying their storyline doesn't match up to other championship storylines. That's all I'm saying. 20 years from now, boy, we celebrate Columbus Day as a day where this dude, he discovered people that were already living somewhere. But if you tell the story, if you let the children believe the story of KD being the greatest talent of all time, and this was the best championship team of all time, 20 years from now, we'll forget the fact that he kind of lost to them the year before when he had them beat, and then he joined them. They kind of lost to the team that they had already beat in the finals, and then they grabbed the player that almost beat them. They grabbed the one guy in the Western Conference that almost gave him that gave him the only out of the 8 series they played in the 2 finals in the 2 playoff series before them, because they've been to the championship 2 years in a row. Out of the 8 series they played before, the one that gave him the most challenge, he grabbed that player. So you're not playing the game competitively. Yeah, you want to win, you got it, bro. You won. If you know the glitch in the game, you got it, bro. You beat me. All right, cool. You know how to duck all the time. But I'm not going to say you're the best player at it. No. Hell no. That's where I'm at with it. So, yes. They're on the list, but to me, I don't believe that they're better than a lot of teams on the list. That's why I said it was easy in the beginning. So,
because of the story.
You want to give your last speech on it?
I mean,
fight for your team, bro.
I already fought for my team. I said everything that I had to say about it. I mean, I can't argue more than the fact of the numbers, the statistics, the dominance that they had, the run that they had.
Let me ask you this.
Nothing more that can be said, bro.
What should the storyline of as a team, we grabbed the only player that competed against us in the last 2 years, also 2-time MVP, 4-time scoring champion, the only one that competed against us in the last year from our conference, and the other storyline of KD being the player that competed with them last year, being 1 game away, losing 3 in a row, and then going to join that team. What role does that play when you construct this dominant Golden State 2017 team? Does that play any role in it at all?
No, because it's about winning at the end of the day. I'm looking at it objectively, not even as a Warriors fan. If I'm looking at it as just, this is a team, these are the players, this is what they did, there's not even a conversation to be had about this.
In your opinion.
But in my opinion. It's not even a conversation.
To me, and I'm not trying to go too far in, so don't take my analogy too crazy. But that's like America saying, yo, we built this beautiful country. What the hell you did? You had someone go do it for you, and then you're taking the credit for it. So you didn't really build the numbers and the stats are all what they are. But how did you get there?
You're talking about
How did
KD.
you-
I'm not talking
You
about
talking
KD.
about KD.
I'm talking about the Warriors. I'm talking about the Warriors. I'm not talking about KD. I'm talking about the Warriors, the organization.
So that's the other part to it. Don't mean nothing to you. As an organization,
That don't mean nothing.
we
I'm
grab.
supposed to get the best player that's out there.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie to you.
You are. You are.
I ain't gonna lie to you. If KD said I want to play for the Lakers right now,
I'm
all
taking
isn't
KD.
forgiven, but yes, you can come play for us. I don't care.
And when you
Come
think
win me
about,
2 chips.
now my question to you is, when you
Mhm.
think about your best championships as the Lakers,
Oh, yeah, nah.
there's no way you're gonna say, oh yeah, that team when we won 81 in
They
one
were nice, but
with
like,
KD.
nah.
I remember you're right, John. You're absolutely right. I was one of them that say, yo, they went 72-9 73-9 last year. They just added KD. There's a message somewhere in our archives that said, yo, they about to go 80-2. They about to go 80-2.
Yep.
I don't even want to watch basketball no more. It's not fair. All we watching is Golden State and Cleveland. That's all there is to watch right now.
See, that to me is the fear that they impose on. This goes back to the impact on what that does for every team. If every team comes into the game thinking, it's like when you play the 72-10 Bulls, you're like, yo, we about to lose tonight.
Mhm.
Same thing that happened with the Warriors.
But you can't.
About to lose
I
tonight.
felt like it was more of that on the court. It was more of that during the 73-9 team than it was during this 66-16 or 65,
66-16.
66-16 team.
Mhm.
I felt like those guys went out there saying, "Yo, we can compete with them as hard as we want." We
I don't think it was that.
effort.
I think it
I know
was.
when I
I
played
think it
the
was
two-
more or less. You know what? These guys not gelled all the way yet. We might have an opportunity to in this first half of the season. After they gelled and they figured out what they were supposed to do and how Clay gonna get his shots and KD gonna get his shots and everybody, all right, Draymond, you're not gonna shoot as much threes. You're gonna focus more on passing because you don't need to shoot the ball if I got Clay, Steph, and KD. Once they figured that out, the league was just like, all right, this is, we're gonna play, but out of formality.
And just imagine how to do that with 2 other people on your team. And even less time. And y'all don't have that 73-9 to fall back on. And that's why I got the Celtics. y'all.
Go to democracy, broken triangle.
All right,
It's
y'all.
crazy.
We're gonna vote. Left hand. And we getting late into time. Left hand, we got the 2008 Celtics. Right hand, we got 2017 Warriors, y'all.
Right hand is 2017 Warriors.
Yes, right hand 2017 Warriors. Left hand 2008 Celtics. On 3, 1, 2, 3.
Celtics.
2017 Celtics. 2008 Celtics have moved on.
Don't like
And it's
it.
crazy. I looked in the camera and I didn't know which hand you had up.
Maybe
I just
my
know Jonathan had a different hand than I did. I didn't know what hand
like
you had
it.
up. Let me write this in really quickly.
On to the next round.
Move us to our next
Yeah, let's do this
round.
next round.
So the final four
Then we'll see.
is the 2000 Lakers, 2008 Celtics, 2013 Heat, and the 2004 Pistons. And we are going to start with the 2000 Lakers versus the team that we just spoke about, the 2008 Celtics.
I'm gonna do the liberty and sit back this time and hear what you guys got to say.
As a Lakers fan, I want to say, I'm sorry, Kobe. Rest in peace. But this Celtics team, I told it before, they number 1, man. You got a deep team. You got a cohesive team. You got a defensive team that is heads and tails. Talk about dominance above everyone else. Said it before. I believe the next closest defensive rating team I was like 10 points. Like they were clearly the best defensive team. So my argument of them being able to play cross eras is right there. And then they got how you want it offensively. You want Paul shaking his head, giving you one-on-ones? Or you want KG setting a back screen for Ray Allen for a wide open 3?
Or you want Ray Allen running around 17 of them screens, the original Klay Thompson, the original Steph Curry, I should say, running around 17 of them screens just to get a little bit of space. Because if Ray Allen put it up, it's golden.
Oh, you want to play small ball? Cool. KG go to the 5, James Posey go to the 4. Perkins you out. Now we spreading the floor. Now I got this pick and roll with Rondo and KG and 3 shooters.
That was the other part. And that when you talk about Chris Paul and how I think the thought process of him in Houston last year was we got James Harden to go off and get his. How do we make the guys around him better? We grab a point guard that can make everybody else around him better. That's what you get in Chris Paul. I think Rondo embodied that when it came to the rest of those players. When it came to even, and I know we're talking specifically about the 2008 Celtics, but even in the following years with Nate Robb and Glenn Davis coming to his own, Rondo was able to. Paul Pierce gonna get his. Kevin Garnett gonna get his. Ray Allen, the way we run offense, Ray Allen is going to get his. How can these other guys get what's necessary to be good? How can I bring up the intensity to make Nate Robinson actually play 20-something minutes on the court? Because Nate Robinson doesn't play 20-something minutes anywhere else because he can't guard. But when you get a Kevin Garnett and a Rajon Rondo behind you, the only year I remember Nate Robinson actually playing some defense was in Boston. And Nate Robinson was always an offensive talent, but it was in Boston.
Try playing defense
spoke
when
about-
3 inches shorter than everybody.
More than that, I think he's listed at 5'8", 5'9", so he's really short compared to even then Rondo was
Rondo
6'2",
like 6'1", yeah.
exactly, and Rondo was considered a smaller guard. So I think that team, not just the depth, not just the storyline, but the grit, the determination, the first time's a charm. Like, it didn't take them 2 times to figure it out. This Laker team, although they were extremely dominant, I think of all the highlights that I have watched, I watched more 2000 Lakers highlights. There were times where Kobe was extremely sporadic. There was a 4 for 20 game in there where he only scored 8 or 9 points. There were other games where the guy went 5 for 22 and things of that nature. And Shaq was just it. You watch the games and you got coaches complaining and I don't know, what do you want us to do? How do you want us to guard him? There was no answer for a guy like Shaq. And it didn't matter if Kobe had a good night or a bad night. If they were able to feed Shaq enough, some shooter's going to be open to hit a shot. Ron Harper was hitting them. Robert Ory was hitting them. They had somebody else. Brian Shaw. That's who it was. Brian Shaw was hitting 3. So you got to help out on Shaq. And even if you do help, it doesn't mean that you're going to get a stop. The offensive scheme was perfect. What puts the 08 Celtics slightly over the top for me in this one, different than just the storyline, the competition. I don't like the competition the Lakers faced in 2000. I don't like the way the competition played. Looking at the games, I don't think they put themselves in. I think if you take that same Shaq and Kobe team and add 10 years of invention and moderating the game, that Pacers team could have gave them way more of a fight with the roster that they had. If they knew how to, we got Jalen Rose, he can slash, we're going to give him open court. We're going to run Reggie Miller around 7, 8 of these screens. We're going to pop Rick Smith out more often. We're going to put certain people in because he's 7 feet and he can shoot over top. I don't like the schemes. Whereas Boston, man,
It's hard.
it was hard to guard them. It was just impossible to guard them. And they beat the Lakers team, so I'm going to leave it at that.
You said competition. That bothered me.
Yeah.
I think that sometimes people see it bothers me because people think that the games back then were easy because guys were less athletic or the style of play. So on this team that the Lakers played, they played against the Suns, they played against the Kings, and they also played against the Trailblazers.
This is 2000, right? Yeah.
This is 99-2000. That Suns team, they slept on. Had Anthony Hardaway, who was averaging 21 points a game. Clifford Roberts averaging 21 points a game. Not to mention Jason Kidd was averaging 12 and 13. And they had Shawn Marion.
It's the playoffs.
No.
Regular season, he's averaging that too?
Yeah, regular season. They had Shawn Marion, Luke Longley. They had some other players.
Young Shawn Marion.
A young Shawn Marion. Young Matrix. Young Matrix.
It's fun looking at the rosters of some of these teams. Seeing the guys that ride the bench.
He was Keanu. He wasn't Neo.
He was. He wasn't the one yet. He wasn't the one yet. But he was getting it. He was getting it.
I'm seeing young Shawn.
That Portland Trailblazers team, Trailblazers, had at the end of his prime, Scottie Pippen, She Wallace, Damon Stoudemire, Bonzi Wells.
Damon was not there yet. That 2000 team, Damon didn't play. They got Damon to help out. Steve Smith was there, but I think he was hurt.
But that's Smitty.
Yeah.
That's Smitty.
I was looking for Damon. Like, why was Damon not balling in this series that they lost? Because I will give you this. That Laker team did have one historic thing going for me with that 15-point comeback, 16-point comeback in the fourth quarter, Game 7 against that team that you're talking about, against the Trailblazers team. I can watch that all day.
And this is their first ship too. So it's like they didn't understand what it took to win a championship.
But they went and grabbed that Game 7 right there.
They got it.
Mm-hmm.
They went and got it.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, once again, that run is crazy, bro. And then they wound up playing against the Indiana Pacers.
Right. And Indiana Pacers
And Indiana
almost
Pacers-
didn't make it out the first round against Toronto.
Yeah, and then they had to beat the Pistons team in Game 7.
Mm-hmm.
Battle test.
No, they had to beat the Nets in Game 7.
I said they played the Pistons.
They had to beat the Nets in Game 7, bro, who just went to the championship 2 years in a row.
After that.
Yeah,
No,
after-
before- no, it's
yeah,
after.
I think you got the wrong team.
No, I got the wrong team. I got the wrong team.
Yeah.
But yeah, but still, they had Jalen. That Pacers team was no slouch either. Jalen Rose.
But they wasn't. That's what I'm saying. I'm looking at the game, and
Like,
Travis
Mark
Best
Jackson.
won the first round for them. Travis Best literally won the first round for them, and then he did not play against the Lakers.
Rick Smits.
And it's
Travis
That should go towards their depth.
Man,
That should go towards their depth.
I'm just watching the game, and I'm saying if I'm looking at the coaching that I see nowadays, and I don't know who would have won the championship, I think people would have been able to utilize their players a lot better.
I think that when you have a dominant force like Shaquille O'Neal, you
That's
said
what
how
innovation
basic.
is,
You said
bro.
how basic the strategy is. If I get the ball down to somebody and dump it down all day, he averaging 32 points a game. Why am I going to change it? If it don't,
Oh, I'm
if
not
it ain't
talking
broke
about the
offensively-
Lakers. I'm talking about the other teams competing against
But I'm
the
telling you,
Lakers.
that's how easy Shaq makes the game for
Yeah,
you.
when-
Because I don't really have the game. I do have the game plan to the point where in the fourth quarter, I have to get Kobe open. I have to make sure that everybody else is getting their runs. And then on top of that, when you talk about Shaq comes out the game, he doesn't stay in the game all 42 minutes. He comes out. What happens during those times? Do they play speed up basketball like the Philadelphia 76ers do when Joel Embiid goes out? That's when Kobe was killing. That's when Rick Fox and them was hitting their threes. So they beating you with multiple styles of play. And don't forget, in one of these games, Shaq fouled out and Kobe had to carry them to the end of the game. So like, my thing is
I get what you're saying.
that Lakers team was also, so another argument is that Lakers team was also number one in defense that year. It was the best team in the league in defense. And it was like 0.7 points better than the Celtics. Is that much of a difference? No, not really. But they was one of the best defensive teams. And they was fifth in offensive rating, where the Celtics was number 10.
6th and 9th. They were 6th in offensive rating. The Celtics were 9th.
So I'm gonna go back to
Celtics
your.
was 10.
I'm gonna go back to your argument about the different ways of playing offense. I'm not against that. I'm not saying the Lakers did not have one of the most dynamic coaches in the league at the time. What I am saying is the other teams did not utilize their rosters
Yeah,
to the
look at
best of their
the
ability.
team offensive ratings. That's what I was looking at. For the league.
So y'all ready to vote?
Yeah, let's vote, man.
I got the Lakers. Whoever right side is the Lakers, left side is the Celtics.
1, 2, 3.
Sorry, Kobe.
2008 Boston Celtics. John, you know you wish we had another person in here.
I really do.
I know you do. I know
Cross
you
through
do.
the hallway.
Yeah, Donovan Clinton got your mind made up. Won't turn back.
Celtics. No.
I tried to give it over mine, but once again, that Celtics team is cohesive, bro. And they were in their primes. I look at Rick Fox. I look at Derek Hart, Ron Harper. He was 36 years
If y'all
old.
watching, can y'all please comment and tell me what y'all thoughts are? Because I think some of these things are just blasphemy.
Yeah, Derek
That's
Fisher his
just me.
rookie year.
That's just me.
Glenn Rice was out the league 2-3 years
But
later.
that team was deeper, bro.
So, like, I
that
get
Lakers
you.
team was deeper than that Celtics team, and it was better on offense, and equally as good as defense. And their best player was better than the best player on the Celtics, and their second best player is better than the second best player on the Lakers. I mean on the
But
Celtics.
they 3rd, 4th, and 5th and nowhere near close.
It was collectively. They
Yeah,
collectively.
their 3rd best player is a Hall of Famer. Who's the Lakers' 3rd best player?
Glenn Rice.
Is he a Hall of Famer? Is he in there?
No,
Does he have a record for most threes in the season?
no.
Is he top 5?
I think that the 1-2
Could
punch.
he lead the team to
That
the playoffs by
1-2
himself?
punch level of
Could he
disparity.
lead the team to the playoffs by himself consistently?
Is KG top five players of all time? Top 10? Could
KG?
you put Shaq in there?
You can put Shaq in there.
Could you put Kobe in there?
Yeah.
Could Could you put Paul Pierce in the top 5 players of all time?
Mm-mm.
There you go. That's the disparity.
Okay.
Moving on.
Okay.
All right.
You top heavy. I'm more
Next.
some depth.
Next matchup, last matchup of this. Oh no, I'm lying. Then we have championship matchup. Second round matchup, we got the 2013 Heat versus the 2004 Detroit Basketball. Detroit Pistons.
This is one I don't have the mind made up. Listen, I'm open.
Oh.
Go ahead, Ty. Talk about your Heat.
I was actually gonna say I hate to vote against the Heat,
Look at this. Look at this show's making us do.
but again, we talk about storyline, and as great of a shot as it was one of the best shots in history. Ray Allen in the corner, one of the best shots in postseason history. They shouldn't have got the opportunity. They got it, and they did the best that they could with it, and it turned it into a game 7, and they won it there. Now look at Detroit. I look at a team that was playing against the best. Kawhi was in what, his second year in the league when Miami played against him. Kawhi was in his second year. Tim Duncan was on a fall off. In fact, he had that huge playoff run the next year that no one saw coming. It's like, oh, Timmy can still hoop, but Timmy people thought Timmy needed a crutch out there. Tony Parker was dealing with injuries. Manu was still Manu, no doubt. Tony Parker was dealing with injuries. When he was healthy, he was himself. But and they won game 1 off that weird Tony Parker fall on the ground, get up, throw it off,
of the glass. That was crazy.
But that 2004 Piston team, man, they went up against Shaq, Kobe, Karl Malone, Gary Payton, Devin George, Rick Fox on the bench, Devin
Phil
Fisher
Jackson,
on the bench,
Coach
Phil Jackson, all those guys, and they got them in 5. It wasn't even close. This is a team that held teams to they held 11 different opponents to less than 70 points that season. You talk about dominance. I don't give a damn what NBA you play. You holding NBA teams to under 70 as a thing
in the playoffs.
No, they didn't do it in the playoffs. It was 11 games in the regular season. They held some teams under 70 in the playoffs.
That's what I'm saying.
So somebody scored 56 one game. Internet's acting up. Somebody scored 56 one game. Bruh, not only did they do this on a consistent basis, 11 out of 82 games, so every 10 games, somebody is not going to get 70. But they did this with 17 points a game from Rip Hamilton, with 16 something from Chauncey, only 12, 13 shots a game from Rasheed Wallace, Lindsey Hunter on the bench, Antonio McDyess,
Mike James,
Corliss Williams.
Corliss Williams was 6 man a year 1 year.
We talk about
He was nice though, but
he was nice.
There you go.
6 man.
That's what we talking about. We talk about guys that were. He was an All-Star 1 year. Oh, he was a 6 man of the year 1 year.
he did this 1 year.
When you talk about the Lakers that they played against, or even the
Hall of
team,
Famers?
if you talk about the Lakers that they played against, the Miami team that they're competing against right now, or the team that Miami beat, you got multiple Hall of Famers on every single one of those teams. Every single one of them. And they went back to back, so it wasn't a fluke.
They didn't win back.
They didn't win back to back, but they won 7. They won 7. They won 7. They was as close to winning as losing gets.
Yeah.
Close to winning as losing gets. So to me, I personally believe in, like I said, my top 3 has been fluctuating all week, which is why I'm glad. And 2 of my top 3 didn't even make this list. So I guess in this sense, I wasn't being biased against Golden State, but in this sense, I might be being a little biased because I really do believe that Detroit's championships are the best championships in NBA history. If we was to go back 30 years, I would tell you that the best champions were the back-to-back Pistons in 89 and 90.
Because when they did it, the timing they did it, who they played against. I get it. I'm still going with the Pistons though, because that defense was ridiculous, man. And then they had the storylines, the clutch moments. They was going to lose to the Pacers until Tayshaun Prince came from behind and blocked the shot.
You talk about memorable moments.
Right?
That's a top 20 moment in
the
NBA
original
playoff
chase down
history,
king.
too.
That's where LeBron got it from.
She came back and said we're gonna win game 2.
I guaranteed it.
Right? Son, you got Ben Wallace is 6'8", 6'9" center.
Center guard Shaq.
That was locking everything up.
He was
They wasn't locking Shaq up.
Huh?
He wasn't locking Shaq up.
Series?
Nobody locked Shaq up.
Shaq ain't have a good series.
But it wasn't him that was locking Shaq up. It was the entire team. You got Rasheed Wallace coming on the weak side with Tayshaun Prince and help. Like, so
help that know how to play defense, not going to foul it as much.
I mean, this team was ridiculous, man.
Tayshaun Prince's length on Kobe was really a problem for Kobe.
And
I'm sure Kobe went to the gym and figured that out. But in that moment, in that series, I think Kobe had one of them like an 8-point game or not. He had another one of those really bad games.
Hey, Kobe also the only reason why the Lakers got to win in that series.
He did win one game.
Sit here and I'm sick of this.
He did win one game by himself. That's a fact.
He did.
He did win one game by himself. I give you that.
But that team combination of clutch, defensively and offensively, because you have Big Shot, Chauncey Billups, and then you have Reggie Miller 2.0.
Big Shot Billups became Big Shot Billups this year. Big Shot Billups was a journeyman for about 8 teams before this. So Big Shot Billups was no more than who's today?
No, the season before that, the Pistons was actually good. They had 50.
He just got there. I know before he got settled in Detroit.
Yeah.
Before he got settled in Detroit, Chauncey Billups was a journeyman.
He was.
Chauncey Billups was not nobody that you looked for and say, oh yeah, that's the guy that's going to run my team. When he got to Detroit, he became that, and then he went to Denver and went to a Western Conference Final out there too. Where if it wasn't for Trevor Ariza and Lamar Odom, it would have beat the Lakers
and Kobe Bryant.
Well, I'm not gonna say if it wasn't for Kobe because Kobe was gonna do what Kobe was gonna do anyway. Down the stretch, when the game's mattered most, Lamar Odom blocking on the inbounds pass and Trevor Ariza swiping pockets is what won 2 of those games. What sealed 2 of those games. So with the clutchest player in the NBA at the time on the court. His name wasn't Kobe Bryant. It wasn't. Statistically, it was Carmelo Anthony. Statistically, when it came to the amount of game winning games. Hey, we talking about a Melo that's only 5-6 years into his career.
I ain't never seen Melo.
I'm about to say that's the road. That was the fork in the road for Melo right there, bro. That was it. If Melo beats that Laker team and they do something in the finals, we can get a totally different Melo for the next 10 years, bro. He would have left Denver. The Knicks might have finally been good. They would have been able to keep Wilson Chandler and all them guys that they had to go around Amari Stoudemire. But I digress. To me, 2004 Pistons are dominance. You don't need to have the number 1 offense and number 1 defense to be dominance. When you step on the court and you bring a presence with a whole bunch of guys that Jimmy Butler would take to play against the Milwaukee, to play against the Timberwolves.
Perfectly with
Oh my gosh, Jimmy Butler. That's what I like about Miami now, though. When I talk about Eric Spoelstra now, I feel like Jimmy Butler, Eric Spoelstra, they kind of have that blue collar in them. Your boy that you talked about earlier, Rick Carlisle, has that too, and that's more important than the flash in the league right now. To me, I think that grit and that determination.
Basketball.
I do.
I like the Warriors style of basketball. That's probably
Warriors style of basketball is dope. Warriors style of basketball is dope, but don't act like they don't have a bruiser, an intimidator.
They do.
Don't act like they don't have a perimeter defender that can guard 1 through 3 with Clay.
They do.
So they have those blue collar qualities to them too.
And Steve Kerr was a blue collar guy himself too.
I mean, when they was going through their run, Andrew Bogut was once a defensive player of the year in the league. So granted, it was Andrew Bogut after injury, but it was still an IQ defensive player of the year. Added with Draymond Green, who will become a defensive player of the year.
Remind me of
added to Clay. The only reason that makes Clay better than Ray Allen or Reggie Miller is the fact that he can also guard those guys. Because they shoot just as good as him. I don't know. Clay is a damn good shooter. But those are a different breed. We talking about Ray Allen. Those are different breeds too.
A guy who gonna give you 30.
What I know is that when I hear old school players talk about watching the NBA, they say, I wish our coaches let me shoot 13 threes. Watch how many records I break.
And that's a perfect example. That's what I mean when I say the 2000 Lakers didn't go. I understand you broke down the whole way they played offense, but there was no offensive teams like that Pacers team that had the shooters of Travis Best, Reggie Miller, and Rick Smith, who was one of them. Sam Perkins is on that team, and Sam Perkins, before Stephen Clay violated the records, was tied with Kobe for the most threes in the game. He was on that team. Sam freaking let them do what they would do now. The way that you would try to beat that 2000 Lakers team now is my threes are worth more than your twos. Granted, we can't stop Shaq.
But they would try, like, so let's not say that because they had Austin Crochet was over there too. They also had a whole bunch of shooters.
Reggie Miller would have taken 15 threes a night.
What do you think he was trying to do?
Didn't, bro.
Time out. Slow down. Watch the film. What do you think Reggie was doing?
I didn't watch the film.
All I know
Reggie
is
was trying to shoot 15 shots a night and Kobe was locking that up over 50 different screens.
It wouldn't have been Kobe on them.
Here's the difference.
Today's game wouldn't have been Kobe on them.
No, Kobe would have gone there because it's Kobe.
Here's the difference. Here's the difference. Mark Jackson be like, "Hey, you a cold-blooded killer. We ain't shooting no layups tonight. All threes. Fast break three. It wouldn't be no chase downs. It would have been a. That's the difference.
To me, not only would it not have been no chase down threes, but you can say Kobe would have been on them. This league right now works extremely hard in the first 10 seconds to get the matchup that they want. Not the matchup that you want, but the matchup that they want. The old league run you around one screen. If Kobe come late, I already got the ball in my triple threat. If I want to take the shot, I'm going to take it real quick. They were not doing what they doing right now. There were no elevator screens, bro.
What I'm saying is,
Reggie
Miller, that Pacers team, was the originator offense of what this Warriors team was because that's what they did. They shot threes, bro.
But
that was a set.
I'm not saying shoot a whole bunch of threes. I'm saying game plan to get a whole bunch of open threes.
All I'm saying is,
and that's the game plan of the league.
If Reggie Miller was shooting 6 threes against the Warriors, against the Lakers in the finals, in today's NBA, he'll be shooting 17 threes.
I think that they, like I said before, their game. Reggie Miller's amount of threes during his day is equivalent to what the Warriors are shooting now. Nobody was shooting threes like the Pacers.
What I'm trying to say to you is, John, that's why the game had to evolve because there are people like Shaq, because there are people like Kevin Garnett, because there are people that they could not stop. So you know what? Threes worth more because they were Dwight Howards. Threes are worth more than twos. And now there was never a time back then where you had teams that shot more threes than twos. Now that is almost a norm.
And
whether they're good or bad at it, it's almost a norm. You got your the Pelicans and the Rockets are a perfect example.
Very rarely have you had
good at it. Pelicans are bad at it.
I don't think there's ever been another time before the Warriors that you had a team with their two best players. Their very best ability is shooting the three.
Because you talked about how Shaq and how you had to double Shaq. You can't do nothing about that. And they should do, bro. What do you do about a guy that is valid to shoot and make, not just shoot to play, but to shoot and make as soon as he passes half court? What do you do about a guy that can score 60 points and only take 11 dribbles
in 3 quarters?
Those are things that they did not have back then. Now, granted, I'm not disrespecting the game at all from back then. I'm just saying
I just think that they didn't do it,
and that's what I'm trying to say to you. They didn't do it. And if you knew better, you do better. So if they had it and they knew it, I think there's plenty of coaches that would say, "Yo, this is how we beat Shaq." I think D'Antoni was one of them when Phoenix finally started winning games. We going to score in 7 seconds so we can get as many possessions as possible because the Lakers is going to try to grind us down, get one possession out of Shaq. Most likely he's going to go in, get a bat. Hopefully we can get some bad shots out of Kobe.
I was listening to a Mike D'Antoni interview the other day. He said, the media coined 7 seconds left. So I never really coined that. I just wanted to get it out and get it up.
Mm-hmm.
It just so happened that it happened in 7 seconds.
And who we got here, guys? Let's move it on. Who we got? 2003 Pistons, 2003 Heat, 2004 Pistons.
2013 Heat.
Pistons.
2013 Heat.
Pistons on the left, Heat on the right.
All right, Pistons on the left, Heat on the right. 1, 2, 3. Pistons.
I'm gonna tell you why I got the Heat.
Yeah, tell us why. It's crazy.
LeBron James won MVP that year, and that was the best version of him. And I've seen LeBron James beat that same exact Pistons team.
Older.
I don't care.
Older.
A better version.
Lower.
Cool. A younger version of LeBron, not the best version versus the best. That's my argument there. So,
but that Pistons
LeBron had to go through so much adversity to beat that team.
Hey,
that team is a shell of itself, bro.
You saying like
that team didn't put up the same stats that the first Pistons team did when they won with keeping 11 teams under 70 points.
That Cavs team may have Dwayne Wade in his prime, or Chris Bosh, or Eric Spoelstra, a great coach, or Ray Allen, or Shane Battier, or Birdman. What going?
No, we lost. We get your point.
I would just let you know.
So you think if LeBron could like go into the time machine in 2012, be like, yo, give me them 04, let me get them 04 Pistons, because them 05 Pistons dusted me, them 06 Pistons dusted me. I finally got them in 07. Then them 08 Pistons dusted me. Swing me them Pistons.
Yeah.
Let me see what I can do now.
Yeah.
Granted, LeBron did beat that Pistons team. I agree with John. No, it wasn't the same team. It wasn't the same intensity.
It wasn't. Still that Pistons team. Still had Sheed and Ben and Rip and Tayshaun and all of them.
All those guys that you just named is a bunch of regular dudes. It's a bunch of regular dudes. And when they joined forces, they were Megatron, bro. So you can't Optimus Prime.
Shout out to Prime, man. I wish, but I got that. Yeah, I actually had them. I said earlier, I didn't have. I was undecided. These two teams are both almost on my list. Very funny.
So this is funny. The last matchup are the only two teams between the years 2000 and 2010 to get championships not named the Lakers or the Spurs. So let's just take a pause and.
Mavs won championships.
2000 and what?
Oh, sorry, in the 2006 Heat. My fault. Yeah. So I missed one team. My fault. I forgot. There's only 3 teams to win a championship not named the Lakers or the Spurs between the years 2000 and 2009, 2010, and 2 of them are on this list right now. 2006 Heat, which I said at the beginning of the show is my favorite team, didn't even make the cut. But the 2008 Celtics, the 2004 Detroit Pistons.
Wow.
And to me, these were the best 2 teams in the conference. If you talk about the longevity of those 10 years, these were the best 2 teams in the conference. They've been to, I think Detroit had been to 4 conference finals, 2 finals.
Yeah,
Boston had been to, I think Boston had been very close in the early 2000s too. In the very beginning, before they were so terrible that they had to grab Paul Pierce and they had to grab Ray Allen and Kevin Garnett. They had a decent year. Yeah,
I don't even want to talk about this because I'm thinking about these championships,
Mm-hmm.
and these are the only 2 teams to beat Kobe in the finals. These are the only 2 teams.
Which one was better? You got to watch them both. Which one? To me, which one had the better storyline? To John, which one was just plain simply more dominant? I guess to your point, if they went head up, who would win? I think that's where the basis of our arguments come from the most.
I'm gonna go from a childhood standpoint. I'm gonna give you baby Rob. That 08 Celtics team, in my head, I'm like, dang. But I was surprised to be in the championship. I was really fake surprised because Bynum was hurt. I think it was like one of the first 2 years we got Powell. And I'm like, oh, okay, we actually I didn't think that much of Powell. So me losing in that finals, or us losing in that finals, it didn't really hurt me as much as this freaking Pistons team. I just knew just going in, we ain't won a championship in a year. Oh, it'd be due for one.
And we got Kobe.
Shoot, and we got in the glove.
Kobe having his best.
What? Nah, it's Kobe time now. And the slacking, the spanking that the Pistons just did to us, it was like it hurt my soul because it's like, all right, bet lost game 1, all right, cool, it's all good. Game 2, Kobe come back, bang, all right, yeah, we got this momentum series shifting play. For the Pistons, they was like, all right, we ain't never letting it go to overtime again. I mean, that's all they did. So the more dominant team to me was the cohesiveness of the Pistons team, bro. It was just like their ability to feed off Kobe's desire to want to be the guy and show the world that he's the guy, while also knowing that Shaq really is the guy and we can't stop him. So that dynamic, and also their ability to pick on Kobe. I say Corliss Williamson so much because I remember so many times where he literally was just like, I'm posting Kobe up, I got the position, easy bucket and 1. I'm like, yo, this is Kobe Bryant. What's going on? I don't understand. So if I would have to vote,
Which you do have to vote.
I ain't voting yet. I don't even vote
Alright,
yet. That was just it's my experiences.
So they beat both your Lakers. I think that you're right. Your 2004 Lakers were way more expected to 1, be there, and 2, win it all. With that roster that they had, you gotta remember they had won 3 in a row, and then they lost 1 year, and then they went and grabbed went and pulled the early Golden State move. They went and grabbed some of the best players in their conference, and wanted to see what they can get with it. Detroit.
Granted, we didn't grab Tim Duncan.
Right. And Detroit didn't grab Tim Duncan either. They grabbed a lesser, still a star. I wouldn't say superstar at this point. But Rasheed Wallace was definitely a star.
Every rate, yeah.
Definitely solid. They went and grabbed him to add to the one thing that was missing to that team, and that was a guaranteed bucket. I think the best part about the storylines here, because I'm big on storylines, is the fact that she had lost to the Lakers so many times. He had lost to them so many times. Larry Brown had just lost to the Lakers 3 years prior in the finals with a better star but a lesser team. Gary Payton and Karl Malone went there for one reason. They could have stayed on their respective teams and been better statistically. I think Karl Malone would have broke that record a lot quicker if he'd have stayed on Utah, where they would have maybe won 20 to 25 games. Right.
You might give you another 20 and 12 year.
He would have, he would have gave you 20 and 12 year regardless. If they would have won 20 games or 60 games, he still would have gave you his buckets if he was on Utah. Whereas over in LA, the premise was winning. And we already got our stars, you come and help out. And he couldn't do it. And the Pistons were... So that's the storyline part for me with why I go Pistons. And to John's point of sheer dominance, I know we'll never see it again, not with today's NBA, but the whole team's under 70 points. Some teams under 60 points. To go on 2 and 3 10-game winning streaks with that type of roster, with no one that can say, yo, the reason why the Pistons won is because Rip Hamilton scored 35 points in 5 straight games. There's no storyline like that. There's no storyline like that for them. So, straight up, blue collar, throw your Tim's on, it reeks of Detroit. Like their championships, they reek of
Even
Detroit.
the color, blue collar, blue and red, American. Or the Midwestern American.
I just see Ben Wallace like after the finals, like on his porch with like overalls and a beard, mowing the lawn.
In Detroit, he changed his oil.
Changing oil. So
in the Motor City.
now with Boston has a blue collar mentality to it too, and I think that team, I think Kevin Garnett definitely was able to embody that. The love that the city showed for Paul Pierce was always dope. Ray Allen just made it all click, and Rajon Rondo was the blue collar player of his generation. He was the dive on the floor for the loose balls. He was I don't care if we have a good defender in Kevin Garnett. LeBron James scored 12 points in a row. I don't care if he's 8 inches taller than me. That's my guy. Move. I'm gonna guard him, and he might score, he might not, but he's gonna get tough buckets. I don't care how big. Like he was the pound for pound guy in his generation, and that's underrated in the sense that we usually just talk about the 3 stars. Their 4th guy was just as impactful as any one of their first 3.
It was the Dennis Rodman of the team.
So
James Posey come off the bench hitting clutch shots too. Leon Poe, Kendrick Perkins with another tough guy. Enforcer.
And imagine what their practices was like, because like you said, Tony Allen didn't even play for the team for real. But Tony Allen ended up being one of the toughest guys in the league to come in the next 2-3 years after that. He
come from that
ended
culture.
up
That dog. I'm a
first
dog.
team all defense. I still to this day, as an OKC fan, as a Russell Westbrook fan, so I watch a lot of OKC games. Watch Tony Allen with Memphis say, nah, I got KD. And KD could score against anybody on that team but Tony Allen. And it didn't make any sense to me. It looked like me guarding
all but 6'4".
Exactly.
Pure heart.
6'4", all heart.
Smart too.
So that Boston team had, and they also had a run. They went to 7 a couple times. Went to 7 with a formidable Atlanta team who was young. I wish
If Kevin Garnett does not get hurt, the storyline might be changed. We
Might be different. We're looking at back-to-back championships.
They might have back-to-back shits.
Nah, man. Nope.
Maybe.
Kobe to beat him.
I hear you.
Because Bynum was back.
Nope. Kobe gonna get that 5th, 6th ring somewhere
What? I'm
somehow.
about to say, 'cause I hear you, but y'all wanted it in the last second 3.
Hey,
By somebody not named Kobe. So we got 3 minutes left on the show before we want to, get up out of here. I want to thank everybody for joining in.
Yeah.
This conversation is always going to be tough. A lot of teams didn't make it. That's what.
Kevin, 11-time All-Star, League MVP, Defensive Player of the Year. Now it's time to add to your resume, NBA champion. How does that sound?
Man, I'm so hyped right now. Anything's possible. Anything's possible!
Give a shout out to my couple teams real quick.
Yeah,
I thought the 2011 Mavericks was a really good team, beating
Team of Destiny.
Miami in their first year. And I thought 2006 team D-Wade being only in his 3rd year to lead a team to a championship during a decade that was dominated by the Western Conference, to bring one of the only three to the East in that time zone and only be in his 3rd year. I thought that was huge.
And that 2013-2014 Spurs team
yeah.
is not to
The emergence of
Kawhi
Leonard and the resurgence, the one last time, the last ride for Tim Duncan.
Timmy,
Tim Duncan had a great series. Yep.
I'm gonna change my name to Rob Huntervich. That's my new coaching name, Rob Huntervich.
Shut up, Shaq.
Facts.
So we got 2008 Lakers, 2008 Celtics on the left hand, 2004 Pistons on the right hand.
This is tough. I ain't voting.
Well, I am.
Both of them beat Kobe. None of them.
Both of them great teams. We said left hand is who?
Celtics, right hand Pistons.
All right, left hand Celtics, right hand Pistons. 1, 2, 3.
04 Pistons.
04 Pistons for three the hard way. 04 Pistons. I want to shout something out. I don't know what it was when I did my edits for the Pistons video. I put the Bad Boys song on there. Bad Boys, what you want to do? That John, and they kept trying to block it. So whoever Big Brother Brazil is, they gotta holler at me, son. Give me an inbox or something. I'm trying to make some music here. But 2004 Pistons are the best championship team that we have in this conference in the last 20 years.
I follow Rip Hamilton on Instagram, and he always, not always, but occasionally always references back to this team. It's the best 5 alive. That's what they call themselves. And yeah, man, like as a unit, they don't get much better than that, bro.
They played together.
They don't get much better.
Everybody played their role, unselfish, bought in, great coach, great culture. I still hear every time Benoit scores a dong. Like, every time he scores, Big Ben, bro. Like the original Big Ben. Yeah, man.
Yo, and that's it for today, man. We will reach out to you guys about the next topic. Again, brackets seem to be the way to go. We'll try to show on sports. If you guys have any ideas, send them in the comments, send them in messages. Message itself on Facebook to Johnson Rob Hunter. Is it still Restaurant in the middle of your name on it? It's Jonathan Hunter on Facebook. Follow us. Follow our page through the hallway on Facebook. Follow our Instagram page BTHW. Subscribe to YouTube through the hallway podcast. Check us out. Putting that up as soon as possible. See you guys next time.
Sabrina, let's go, baby!